What up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the What's Up, Brodey podcast. This episode, I had Ty Mcleod. We both actually are from Killeen. He went to Harker Heights High School. I went to Killeen High School. So I've known Ty for a while. We used to live together way back when on East MLK, back when I had just graduated college. And yeah, dude, Ty, for as long as I've known him, he's always wanted to be an actor. He's been doing his thing now 14 years strong. He's been in the local scene here in Austin and doing various projects. He just was just in a play, was just producing a project. He was just in an ad. So he's just doing the damn thing, man, and I respect it. He's been on the hustle for a long time, so it was really cool. He has a crazy perspective on life. He's a wild dude. I respect it. So, nonetheless, hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. I think we had a lot of fun. And yeah, man, it was cool. So enjoy the episode. As always, Redmond's. So salt, electrolytes, toothpaste, their apron, shit, whatever you want. 15% off. Use code Brodey. You can also find the links in my Instagram on both channels, my personal page, The Life of Brodey, and the podcast page, What's Up Brodey Podcast. There's a link there that automatically applies the discount. So you can just check out through that link. It'll automatically take the 15% off. And yeah, you get to enjoy some great things at a discount for listening to the show. As always, shirts. We have shirts for sale. Small, medium, large, extra large. Large and extra large are a little bit lower in supply. Small and medium, we still got plenty. So if you want one, let me know. More than happy to ship it out to you, drop it off. You can come pick it up however you'd like to do. They're $25. Awesome, y'all. Yeah, well, I hope y'all enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next week. You ready? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Ty! What's up, dude?
What's going on?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. Seen you a bit. How's everything going?
It's going well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What you been up to?
Everything and nothing all at once.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So what does that entail?
We just finished up a show, was in a play, finished that up, knocked out a commercial, produced a short film, and now it's what actors do best. It's wait.
Yeah, dude, what was the play about?
So it was a murder mystery, like whodunit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sets that. It's mainly for the audience and less for the actors. So it's kind of like you have to tell the story in a way that doesn't give away the answer to the audience because you want them to kind of work for it throughout the play. Mm-hmm. But that becomes tricky because as the actor, it becomes very difficult to play the reality of what's really happening. Because if you did, it makes it very obvious right off the bat, like, oh, that guy did it.
Isn't that kind of the point, though?
Kind of.
What's the alternative?
The alternative is you play the reality of the situation. Everybody knows in the first 2 minutes who did what.
I think that defeats the purpose, though. Yeah, right? It's kind of like Knives Out.
Yeah, no.
Similar, like where it's kind of, stringing you along a little bit, kind of twists and turns, and you're supposed to be trying to piece it together.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it, Knives Out.
Yeah. Dude, one that had did a really good job. I think there's two lately that's done a really good job of that is The Beast in Me. It was pretty good. Kind of weaving you through and keeping you guessing. Have you seen it? Mm-mm. It was really good. But then the one that I think was really good, really well done along these same lines was His and Hers. Did you watch His and Hers with John Brinthal and Tessa Thompson on Netflix?
I haven't.
Fucking good.
Good?
6 episodes, little mini series, twists and turns throughout the entire time. I would say that it's not one that most people like. She's really, really good at it, and she jokingly guessed the person, but she wasn't confident in it, and she's really, really good at figuring it out. And so typically, we'll be like halfway through, and she'll have it already figured out. Or we'll try to bounce ideas off of each other throughout the show and kind of like game plan who we think it is or who we think it might be and like go back and forth on why and whatnot. And this one had us going the entire time. Yeah. And even though she had said who it ended up being, we were still never sold. We were like, I don't know. And you just kept flip-flopping every fucking 15 minutes. You're like, no, it's that person. And then they would throw you something else and you'd be like, no, it has to be this person. And they did a really good job. It's worth the watch.
Well, that's a credit to the writer.
Yeah, no, it's worth the watch. The acting's phenomenal. The whole concept of the show is phenomenal. The twist makes sense. They do a very good job really hiding it throughout the entire way. I talked to a lot of people who watched it, and I haven't had anybody else who guessed it. So it's pretty good. It's hard to do that.
Yeah, it is now, especially nowadays, because all the writing is full of so many cliches.
Yeah, you've seen it before.
As soon as you see them, it's like, oh, this happens. And
yeah. No, they did a good job, and they just sprinkle it through. There's just little nuggets, and even with the nuggets, you're still never like, oh, it's for sure this person.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was worth it. So the play, and then you said you did a commercial. What was the commercial for?
There's a theater out in Hutto called, I think it's Hokey. Not sure.
When did you know?
I don't know how to pronounce the name. I think it's Hooky because the premise of the commercial was that, like, you know, I'm going to ditch work and go play hooky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but a creative agency, you know, was working in collaboration with one of the writers for their ad, and it was pretty cool.
What was the commercial for, though? Like, just for the theater?
Yeah, so it kind of like, there's a scene where it starts off when I'm in the car, and there's a voiceover that comes over, and it's like, man, I have to go into work and work for this jackass who's going to be telling me what to do, or I could ditch with my coworker and I could go to
play hooky.
Yeah, hard cut to me, like on the arcade game with them and stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Dude, you've been at this for a long time.
14 going on 15 years.
Yeah, it's cool. Staying consistent.
You have to. Yeah, when I was 19 and I started, I'd known I'd always wanted to be an actor. But when I was 19, it was really like, if you're going to do this, you have to commit for your life. Because it's not just a one way, I'm just going to do this for a couple of years and just hit. And I always thought, you know, worst case scenario, I'll be broke at 50, but I'll have this skill set and this craft that I've cultivated over decades, and nobody's going to be able to take that away from me.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of put more of a value onto like skills and not necessarily ability, but just kind of specializations, you know, because I always thought that would, number one, it's something that I'm driven towards, and so it's kind of an intuitive leaning. And then number two, it's like, what else would I rather be doing with my time? Life's so finite.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I might as well just go for it because I could die tomorrow. So
yes. The world could get blown up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of impending dooms. AI, nuclear war, famine, drought, a lot of things. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So what made you, or you said you knew by 19, or you always knew. What was it that made you know?
In fourth grade, I knew for sure.
How so?
I was a big fan of Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Any movie with Chris Tucker. I was in fourth grade watching like Money Talks and Friday and Rush Hour. And I was like, man, I want to be like Chris Tucker.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so I just set off. And then when I was, of course, you always had like your elementary school plays. But then in sixth grade, I got to do an outdoor theater for Salado. This is a show called Salado Legends they do every year. And I got to be a little Native American. My pasty white self walking around with the Native American tribe, and it was really cool. And I just fell in love with theater. Then in high school, I actually went back to do that show and got to play one of the leads, which was the Native American at the time. And there's like this improv dance where like he's telling the story through dance, and it's got these like cool lights, and I'm all painted up. And I remember at the end of the show, the actor who had played that role, who was like full-blooded Native American, he was in Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, that's sure.
He was there, and I went up to him, and he was like, "You did a really good job with that dance." He was like, "That was like really in line with how it should have been done."
Is that like Featherface? How'd you get away with this?
I don't know. Actually, I have Cherokee in my bloodline.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
so you're like,
I mean, I didn't know that
Elizabeth
at the time.
Warren.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't know. I don't know that reference.
The politician, she was lying about, or not lying, but she was talking about how she's Native American, and then it came back, she was like 0.00001%.
Nice.
Never mind. Continue. Sorry.
Nice.
Stupid joke.
But yeah, no. I've always actually had an affinity for Native Americans. I don't know why, but I think, I've always thought genetics really do play a huge role in personality. And I'm Scottish, and Scottish are like the closest thing to Native Americans as it gets when you're white. Because the way they live, their values on freedom, and the way they kind of lived off the land and in like little communities.
Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But then it turned out my grandma's in genealogy that I actually have Native American. I come from one of the tribes called a bird tribe. I guess they're like, it's kind of like a caste system. There's different, in the bird tribe, people were seen as like messengers from the divine, but each sect, and I don't even know them off the top of my head, they all had like a role within that society. Kind of like, if you go to India, I think I'm not going to even try to say it, but they have like a priest class, which I think is like Brahms or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of very similar. And so,
what was it about Curse Tucker?
Man, his energy.
Yeah.
He's so electric to watch. So much screen presence. And even now, if you go back and watch, you're like, man, he's so good. Like, when he's in frame, you can't look away from him.
Yeah. No, it's valid. I mean, he's definitely...
he's wonderful.
Yeah, he does a great job being that, like, center of attention.
Yeah. And even in, like, Air Jordan, he just nails the role.
Yeah.
That recent film that came out, that was, like, his first time acting in a long time.
I haven't seen it.
You really?
No.
With Affleck and, was it Damon? I think it's Damon. But they tell the story of how Jordan came to sell or be a part of.
I might have seen, like, the trailer, but I didn't watch the movie.
Such a great film.
Yeah?
It's a wonderful film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Tucker's in it.
Yeah, and he does great.
He does great.
Do you ever think that maybe you didn't want to be an actor, you just want to be black?
No, I definitely always wanted to be black. That was never separate of wanting to be an actor.
That one was more for Taylor.
You grow up and clean, man. You start to doubt whether or not. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I got a little bit in me.
I know. Yeah, I did. Yeah, man, clean. But you went to Heights, though. It's not. You didn't get the full experience.
No, I grew up in Clean.
Did you go to middle school in Clean?
No, but I grew up like in the heart of Clean.
Yeah, but you went to Heights High School. I mean, it's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
It's a big difference. I went to Clean High. 96% black.
See, that's different. And then I grew up on a military base in Missouri for a little bit, and I was like one of the very few white people.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I've always been around diversity, and that's what I hate about Austin. And people get so mad when I say it, but I'm like, Austin's a super white city.
It's pretty white.
Yeah,
but
very.
There's also a lot of Indians.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is definitely more white for sure than clean. Absolutely. I would agree. I've always been around a large. It's really not that diverse and clean. It's just a lot of black folks. I've been around a lot of cultures for a long time, so it is pretty common for me. I think the perspective you gain is so undeniable, or it's very important.
Yeah, and there's a language barrier for a lot of people that don't grow up around it. The slang, call it code switching, I guess. Not my term.
There's a word for it?
It's called code switching.
Some white people shit.
No, that's from the black community.
Oh, really?
So black people go to these white jobs.
Oh, and they turn on their customer service voice?
They turn on the Dave Chappelle. Hello there. How are you today?
Yeah, dude, it's weird. It's odd. It's weird that we expect people to talk a certain way or act a certain way in order to do a role or do their job well. At the end, Does it really fucking matter? Or do you care?
Perception is everything in this world.
Yeah.
And that broke my heart when I didn't fully accept it until my mid-20s, where I was like, oh, truth doesn't matter. Never has mattered.
No.
It's all about perception.
Yeah.
So
you see that in the real world. I mean, you see that in politics. You see that in everything. The truth does not matter. We're living in a time right now where the truth is so grim and so ugly that no one cares. Like like people can't fathom it.
yeah, I mean, it's, the light that shines on all the ugliness that's underneath. People can't even confront what's inside themselves. How are they going to confront what's outside of themselves?
Ooh. That's deep. That is true.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to put it, because that is very true. Because that's what's happening right now. We found out, well, confirmed, I should say. We've known this for a while, but we've confirmed a satanic cult running the world and eats kids. And we just go to work the next day.
Nothing new under the sun. They've been doing this early in the Bible. God was like, "Hey, stop hanging out with those Canaanites. They're sacrificing their kids to Moloch. Don't be like them."
No, Moloch is the sacrifice. Baal is who they sacrifice it to. Moloch is the act of sacrifice, and then Baal is the actual like anti-god or antichrist that they sacrifice it to.
Interesting.
Baal's the one with the horns.
Yeah, I know they refer to Baal as like the god of money. And I think there's like a whole, again, caste system with like principalities and demons. I always thought Moloch was like the owl.
No.
Interesting. I
don't know the name of the owl. Like the Bohemian Grove one?
Yeah, I think that was
one. I don't know the name. I'm pretty sure, and she might be able to confirm in a second, but I'm pretty sure Moloch is the actual act of the sacrifice. And then Baal is, I know Baal for sure is who they're sacrificing to, because that's the statue that Iran likes to burn. And then people get mad. And it's like, why are we mad right now? Why are you mad at this, huh? And so, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But Canaanites is a good word. Something that I've recently have became more subjected to.
Do you know how to
say that?
Moloch? Moloch.
I will say, I've always been very sensitive to the spiritual, and I grew up as a Christian, but I didn't understand it, and I didn't really care for it. Like I abandoned it when I was moving to Austin.
Hello?
Screen? And some technical difficulties, folks.
Keep talking.
Yeah, just keep going.
Anyhow, I abandoned all that, and of course, I've had a crap ton of like supernatural experiences happen to me, but I went through this like 9-month phase of like Eastern meditation, Buddhism, Zen, even Hinduism, and I would meditate for like 3 to 4 hours a day minimum. Back when we were living at
good on Hewlett. Hewlett?
Yeah.
Yeah, right off there, MLK.
Yeah, that's where it started. And it was really interesting because I started off that whole experience with my first meditation ever. I had a conversation with the all-seeing eye. And it was weird because like in my mind's eye, it was just like this golden light. And then it was this eye that was constantly shifting into a new eye. And it like talked to me. It was like, "What do you want?" And it was like super deep bass voice. You would have thought it was in the same room as you. And I was like, "I want to be a successful actor." It goes, "It'll be done." And then just vanished from my mind's eye. Baal, Moloch, Canaanite era deities with different roles. Widely worshipped.
Both idols that are worshipped.
Huh?
While Moloch was associated specifically with fire and child sacrifice, Baal was the lord of nature.
Interesting. I thought. Yeah, okay. So then, we were both half. Well, you were right. I was wrong.
Commanded the sacrifice of children by fire. Yeah, I think Moloch, kind of is the key to success in this world. But
it is weird. In 2016, Jimmy Fallon did a skit of sacrificing a child to Moloch.
Yeah. And it goes back to that. When I talked to that eye, I didn't know it at the time. But after that journey, it really opened my eyes to symbolism. And I started paying attention. And I see that eye everywhere. And it just makes you wonder, like, why is this eye always associated with success? Like CBS logo, eye. Or
fuck yeah,
nice.
Success. If y'all heard that in the background, that was Taylor killing a fly that's been driving me fucking up the wall.
It was chilling on your head earlier.
You do start, was it? Bastard.
So,
you do start to notice.
Yeah, and especially in the industry I'm in, there's no, like we talked about earlier, perception is such a currency. Every little detail of these, high profile shows
Can't be by accident.
None of it's by accident.
Can't be.
Dude, I worked as a continuity on a feature film, and like we're noticing like the smallest color changes in camera. We're keeping the color temperatures across all cameras the same.
Yeah.
You look at like the set design. Do we really want that there? What's that say? It's all purposeful.
Yeah.
And
so not by accident. There's this random symbol, right? There's something that was going around the last couple of weeks about like Nickelodeon shows having like A0019 or allegedly was the original like chemical code for adrenochrome. And then it was like people were saying that wasn't true. I don't know, but it's like there was this very specific letter and number combination that appeared in like hundreds of different Nickelodeon shows. And it's exactly what you're talking about. It's like, is this by accident? Is this a coincidence? Like, how do you have this same reoccurring symbol or numbers or these things that pop up across all these different shows that are all owned by one company or owned by the same producers, right? And it's like, how does this happen?
And I don't think it makes sense to people that have more of a secular worldview. But when you start going into faith, and you start looking at like the motivation, because otherwise it's like, oh, is it just some conspiracy to?
It's a coincidence.
Yeah, and when you look at it from a faith worldview, you're kind of like, oh, there are spiritual sides, and one has power over this world temporarily, but what runs this world?
The devil.
And it's just you do what he wants and says, and it's no coincidence that like hip hop was hijacked, where it used to be like a vessel of like wisdom and education for the children in these low income areas, for people to lift each other up, to where it's turned into what it is now, where it romanticizes like shooting people, killing your enemies, peddling drugs, and like how much of a man can you be? Why is that? Why do we populate that into our culture? Because it does have influence.
Oh, yeah.
But
and
why?
It almost seems very intentional.
It is intentional.
And you brought up something that we talked about on this podcast a lot, actually. That I've come to the conclusion that a lot of the intent behind a lot of this is to create a godless society. And so you're talking about how the secular world doesn't understand the symbolism, or they don't look that much into it, or they don't think it's that big of a deal, X, Y, and Z. And it's interesting because that goes along with that, right? The more and more I can create a godless society, the more and more then these symbols that are in TV show after TV show, or in commercials, or on this bottle, or in this movie, now mean nothing. But and then more people will just let it slide and stop thinking about it and not thinking that much into it.
Just movie. It's just magic. It's just this stuff. I'm like, I haven't seen Moana, but I've seen clips of it where they're literally talking about like the basics of witchcraft. I'm like, oh, makes sense.
Yeah. Invincible. Have you seen Invincible?
Yeah, I saw that episode. Almost made me turn on. I almost stopped watching it. Where it was like trying to reframe the devil's not the bad guy.
Yeah, it was
I'm like, get the hell out of it.
It was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're watching it and you're like, wow, this is a really interesting take. Like on the surface, you're like, oh, this is a very interesting reframing of this whole thing. Okay. But then on a deeper level, you're like, this is kind of odd.
Yeah. Oh, you should be thankful to the devil. He's the reason why the world's the way it is. I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm not very thankful at all.
Yeah, dude. It was a really interesting because I love the show, and it's that that episode in particular was the lowest rated episode of the entire season.
And the creator could not understand why. He was like, that's one of the best. I'm like, yeah, that episode almost.
But then you find out more and more about Robert Kirkman, and you become slowly more and more disappointed.
I'm not. I mean, look at what the substance of the show is. You know? Yeah, there's a whole rabbit hole right there. But like essentially we used to see people getting like axed and murdered and decapitated. Like, again, back to the faith worldview. What are we? We're images of God. So what better way to really stick it to the creator than to just decapitate the image of God and to brutalize it with savagery every chance we can. Not to say I still love Invincible and I'm locked into that show, but like, dude. I mean, like that episode where he rematches Conquest was hard. I was just like, guts just falling out. Like, God damn.
Yeah. You can only get away with that in an animated show.
Yeah, but like it does do something to your mind. You know what I mean? Like, that's not normal for humans to really be watching.
Yeah, true. It also there's probably like a layer of dehumanization. There's probably a layer of numbness. I think there's a lot going on to that. But I think that's been our entire life.
Yeah.
We've become so numb to things. We've become so desensitized to things. We have access to horrible videos. We all had to watch Charlie Kirk get shot. We've had to watch, I mean, shit, you've seen JFK get shot. Mm-hmm. You've seen all of these different assassinations, these beheadings we had to watch, not had to, but you would end up inevitably seeing.
Just somewhere along the lines.
Just stumbling across fucking the internet, man.
It's like frazzle drip.
I watch animals get fucked. Yeah. Oof, yeah. Yeah, that's dude, her response to that is still mind-boggling to me. Bill Clinton's responses when he was being I guess like interviewed or whatever for that, subpoenaed, for that, his responses just like smiling and just reminiscing, dude.
They're all part of the same club.
This is crazy.
They're all part of the same club.
It's like it's just crazy like how sociopathic they are. It's fascinating.
It makes sense though.
Oh, of course. To get to that position
when you have access, and right before this podcast, I saw an article about somebody had hung out with a couple of billionaires, Mark Zuckerberg and them, and it was like, yeah, these guys live without consequence, and the only thing they adhere to is their own critique, their own self-criticism, which
comes back to a godless society. Yeah. I've talked about this because that's one of the reasons why I think it's so dangerous, and I'm not even an overly religious person. I've never been in church. I've never read the Bible. I'm not this diehard religious person, but I have come to this conclusion just by watching society. And you have just seen it get more and more demonized and more frowned upon, and it's not talked about in movies. It's people feel a type of way when people start to give glory to God in interviews and things like that. And you start to see this slowly taking place over a long period of time. And then you start to see the long-term effects on that. And it goes back to what you were just saying right there with Zuckerberg and they're not answering to nobody. But back in the day, that used to not be the case. Everybody was answering to God. One way or another. That's what people believed. And when people believe that, there's a higher level of accountability. Even if there's no self-accountability or if there's no societal accountability, there was always a layer above that of accountability. And now we've kind of destroyed that layer of accountability for most people. There's almost no societal accountability. Fucking today, I woke up this morning, I guess Karate Combat had an event last night, and Wing C faked like he was blind and just jumped into the pit mid somebody else's fight. And yes, I laughed really hard at the clip, but in reality, this is not a good thing to do. This is not, and Karate Combat, of course, is promoting it and using it to get clicks and da-da-da-da-da. But it's just a bad look for your entire organization. But it goes back to it. There is no accountability. This is what we have gotten to. We're so unserious. Like this week is another something that happened this week is another perfect example of that. This J.P. Morgan story, which turns out this guy is allegedly lying about the entire thing, which fucking makes the whole thing weird now. It was funny. Now it's just weird. But if you haven't seen the story, essentially this guy was claiming that his boss turned him into a sex slave. And he had created these text threads, and like she was like, you better come fuck my brains out, or I'm not giving you a promotion, or I'm gonna get you fired, da 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 da. And like just allegedly was super sexually aggressive with him. And she's hot as fuck. And it's like it never works the other way, dude. Just no one cares. No one's gonna take it seriously. It just doesn't work, bro. Especially when she's hot as hell. And so the story breaks, and this is how unserious the internet is. There was 500,000 applicants to JP Morgan this week because this story broke.
Awesome.
It's just
awesome.
And it just is. It's just where we're at. Nothing is serious. Nothing matters. We've crossed this point at whether it was the Epstein files, whether it's happened before, like whether it took place, we've crossed this line before, even before that came out. But we've now hit this point where nothing really matters. Everyone's just like, oh, whatever. Oh, it's not that important. Oh, tax has gone up another 2%. Oh, who cares? Oh, now they're putting in a mandatory kill switch in any car built after 2026. Fuck it. Who cares? It's not that serious. Oh, California's going to charge you per mile you drive. It's not that big of a deal. All these things are happening, and it's just like, nonchalant. Everyone's just so nonchalant about it.
Yeah, I think the war for the world was lost when the natives lost. I really do believe that.
Yeah, how so?
When the age of industrialization happened, that was the point of no return. We're supposed to be living with and in unison with the land. We're not supposed to be conquering the land. And it's, you can just see the results of it with like Tesla. They've been dumping in the Colorado River for the last couple of years. I used to drive a lot of Lyft, and the cool thing about Lyft was I always got the word, that nobody else was getting, and people like, yeah. I talked to the chief of code in Austin, and he was like, yeah, it's so much easier just to do it than ask for forgiveness instead of going through and they knew about it. They knew that they were dumping, and I think Austin told them no, so they just went to another county and bribed them with some money, and like just pollute the water. It doesn't matter.
There's no accountability. Who are they answering to?
It's whoever.
If you're not answering to God, and you are a $1 trillion company, essentially, like, who are you answering to?
Well, I think it's always been like that, to be honest. I think now it's just a lot more visible.
It's more visible, but it's also on a grander scale. Like, we now have the ability to affect globally, right? Like, it might have been like this on a slightly smaller scale before. But also, a lot of it wasn't possible. Like, if you go back to like the 1800s and things like that, like there was much more self-governance, right? There was much more self-policing.
Self-reliance, because you had to in order to survive. Right? There weren't structures in place to protect you.
Yeah, now we've gotten so comfortable, so lazy.
It's easy. And
content.
Now the idols we worship are attention. That's why Wing C doing what he does, because he understands nothing else matters but how much attention I can generate. That's what makes my stock, my personal value go up. It's really hard being in the entertainment industry. There's so many things I know I could do that would boost. But it's like, what's the point of any form of success if you are having to circumnavigate your own character?
Or sacrifice your soul.
Yeah. For what does one man gain to gain the world and to lose his soul?
That's is it worth it? That's why I respect it. You've been grinding this for quite some time, right?
Dude, I have seen so many. I've been in a lot of different circles, Post Malone showed me White Iverson the night he got it back from the studio.
That's cool.
Luke was there with me, actually. Yeah. And, he was never doing the devil horns when I met him, and I knew him for 3 years before he was doing music. But as soon as that song hits, what do we see? We see this coming out everywhere. I mean, yes, he was an industry plant. Like that whole narrative of Wiz Khalifa just finding his SoundCloud and sharing it. No. He had world-class producers coming over to his house for 2 years prior to even that break. And the music he was making before was completely different. He used to actually do like really hard hip-hop. It was really good. And then he did a song with I Love Mannequin, Turn Up on a Tuesday. Completely changed his sound overnight into the sound we have now. And he told me and Luke, he said, you have to make the music that they want to hear before you can make what you want to make. And I'm like, oh, somebody told you that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And how did he come up? Well, I had friends who I grew up gaming with that became multimillionaires off of Minecraft. They helped blow it up. My friend at one point was the most subscribed US gamer in the nation, in the world, with over 11 million subscribers. He was like right up with PewDiePie at the time. And that guy told me directly, yeah, I sold my soul. He said, I sold my soul. And he was like, I don't want to tell you who, because I'm 100% sure they're listening to this phone call right now. I mean, like, and you, like, it's really easy to hear something like that and be like, yeah, right. Like, there's a significant amount of truth in it. And
I believe it.
Dude.
You see it.
Dude.
You see it. Look at all these celebrities.
It's
Look at
weird.
all of them.
It's
weird.
There's weird stuff happening. And it's kind of to the point where, like, I don't even know if it's possible to hit the level I want to hit without. You have to have some type of divine
luck,
divine favor.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be, your 100%. Whole existence has to be designed for that purpose. Mm-hmm. Or you have to give something up to, go wherever you want. And then it's like, well, why do you want to go there? Just to appease your ego, just to make money? So for me, it's really turned into, with what I do, is it has to become about the work now. It cannot be about where I'm going to go or who I'm going to be. And for the longest time, it was not about that. It was, I'm going to get to the top. And now I want to master my craft, and I just want to focus on the work and get to a level of craftsmanship that I can, tell the stories that I think are going to be useful to building up a healthy society.
Where'd that paradigm shift come in at?
Probably when I turned about 30. It was the first time that social validation was ever, ever crossed my mind. I mean, I went through kind of an existential crisis of like, I'm about to be 30 years old. I'm with the woman I want to marry. How am I going to support a family? What looks good on paper? And you obviously you don't think that, but I enlisted for the National Guard. I was going to go off and have an attempt at Special Forces. I had an 18X contract. And thank God the COVID vaccine was a mandate. It was like a mandate in order to leave for ship. And I said, I'm not taking it. I was like, I can't get myself to take that vaccine. It's an experimental vaccine, and I can't hold the original manufacturers liable for any damages. So I'm not doing it. And so that voided that whole contract before I even left. But the whole purpose I did that was because I was like, well, I got to be this, I got to be that. And it really led me towards a path of trying to find out where my value really comes from. And that's something only I can affirm. The validation I need can only come from me. It can't come from anyone else. And then, I started thinking about my nature, and like, I'm a very creative individual by nature. It's not something that I can just turn on and off. It's with me. And if I don't have an outlet for it, that energy turns destructive. And so, I was riding this wave of success, destroy it all, success, destroy it all. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a more sustainable way moving into the future. And so I just slowly started, becoming more process oriented. And that's where I started finding, this is what I've been looking for. This is what's helping me develop and reach that flame that I feel like everybody has this thing inside of them that they're aware of, but they don't know how to uncover it. And it's that process of excavating the soul, trying to find that resonance.
Is it something you have to do daily to kind of continue that, or?
If I was more disciplined, yes. That's another struggle entirely. But yeah, I think you just have to be repetitive with it, you know, even when it's not fun or glamorous. You just have to keep going into that place. And a lot of it is just turning all the noise off.
Yeah. Discipline. Is it something you think that's what you're struggling with, or is it fear?
Could be both.
Yeah.
You know, my coach thinks I'm afraid of success. I fear success, which there might be something to that. You know, I've always been really good at picking things up, and my relative skill level to other people has always been above average, but I've never sat with anything long enough to really determine.
I can understand that.
How good I could be in something, you know, and I'm getting to a point now where I'm starting to realize that. And it's actually very encouraging, because it's like, well, just keep sticking with this and like, let's see where you go. Because it's like, you know, martial art, you know, they teach you how to throw a punch, and then a couple years go by and you're like, oh, I never thought I could throw a punch like this. And it just, martial arts was the turning point. That was the beginning of that seed, where I started watching technique turn into something just and it wasn't like, I was pretty dedicated and disciplined when it came to training for like the first 5 years, where even when I wasn't in a school, I go to the gym, I'm working technique for an hour, then I'm doing weights. And I go back and look at the videos that I would post, and I thought I was doing something cool, but like I stuck with it, which is now, you know, like, I just think that's the main thing. Like, just stick with something and see how far it'll take you. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, it is one of the best. It's one of the best examples of that, because nobody's going in there and being good. Like, no one's going in there. You're not like, we talk about a lot in jiu-jitsu. There is not a lot of luck involved, right? Like, there's not going to be someone who comes in off the street who's a white belt, who's never trained before. They're not going to come in there and just happen to tap a purple belt, brown belt, black belt. It's just not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. It's just not a thing. And it's a straight testament to what you're saying, because that person can then come in that day, be that brand new person. And if they humble themselves and they show up and they keep steady across, you know, on that craft for a long period of time, then they can then do that to somebody who then comes in, right? And it's a never-ending cycle where the new person comes in, they get beat up, they become the person who can then do the teaching and do the beating up and show people like, hey, like, you don't know what you don't know. And then it just ever keeps going. And martial arts is one of the best ways to learn this, and it's true. Like, you then can then apply that to the rest of your life. I struggle a lot with in the same regard, where it's like, I'm pretty average at a lot of things without a lot of effort, just naturally okay at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Never was picked last in any sport, regardless if I've ever played it or not. Like, I just always good enough. And that led to a lot of complacency.
Yep.
A lot of averageness, a lot of mediocrity, because I could get away with it.
That's the curse of talent.
I could get away with it. And there wasn't a lot of incentive to try harder, because I was just always naturally decent enough. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Right? Like, I never played basketball. I went to college and would play pickup games, and I was like, oh, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, but man, like, how good could you have been?
How good. And it's, dude, how much time do we waste on our phones every day?
Oh, a lot.
That whole, like, I don't have time. Like, you just need 15 minutes a day. Just stay with that for a couple of years. Just see where it's going to take you.
Yeah. Consistency.
I think people would be very surprised. And I think the same thing with like education, you know, public school has not been very helpful in showing people or incentivizing people to understand the value of like high level of mathematics. But math is everything.
How so?
Math is dance. Math is abstract thinking. If, you know, you have X and Y, X plus Y equals this, you could combine that into like, if I put this many hours a week into whatever it is I'm trying to do, and then I add this whatever variable, I'll get this result. and that's just like basic math theory. But if you don't understand the value of what you're learning while you're learning, if you don't understand the benefit to, how to write really well and organize your thoughts, then what's the point? Like, you don't have any motivation. And like, that's one of the easiest things people can do is learn how to write. And a lot of writing is learning what not to write.
How so?
Like, there's a lot of redundancies. Like, I don't have an example at the top of my head, but people will, put a word that will basically, like, say, damn, I do not have a good example for this. Say you start off your sentence and you make a claim, but then people use an adjective that basically reaffirms what was just said. It's like, that's unnecessary. The point's already been made. You don't have to reiterate. But it's just comes down to like the science of communication. How are you the most direct with less
Efficiency.
Yeah.
The math way is an interesting way to think about it. Because I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? This plus this equals this. Right? Discipline and hard work equals getting better.
X time, what's the what is the square root of X, or what is it, exponent? X squared, it's just like X times X.
Yeah.
It could be like 1 day or like 5 days a week jiu-jitsu times 4 years.
It's a lot.
5 years.
It's a lot.
What does that turn into?
It's going to be a lot better than someone doing it 3 days a week. And
also that person doing it 3 days a week for 5 years is better than somebody who does it for 5 days a week for 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's compounding interest, right? It's that number over a span of time. And people get discouraged really easily, very quickly, where, they're not thinking about that. Like, oh, I can't train 7 days a week, so I'm just not going to train at all. Or I can only train 2 times a week. I'm not going to get that good. Well, you can. It's just going to take longer.
It's capacity too. And that's another thing people don't understand, that is capacity. You don't just get to the place. You don't just show up and start going 7 days a week. Not everybody's at that place where they can do that. If you can only do 2 days a week or 1 day a week, just do it, and you'll start feeling more inclined to do more. But everybody feels like they have to be at the end state when they start.
It's the it's the life of comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
I think Theodore Roosevelt said that. And I think we're at a place where it is so easy to compare yourself to everything and everyone instantaneously. You just open up social media, and then you can compare yourself to anyone, right? You can compare yourself to the best, the biggest podcasters, the biggest actors, the greatest martial artists. You can compare yourself to all these people. And then that then leads to, I think, more complacency. And it also leads to more people getting discouraged, because it takes a very special type of person to see those guys and then be like, oh, I can achieve that. I don't think that is
The dominant way of thinking.
I don't think that, not at all, because I think that takes a level of delusion that most people just don't have. Most people are taught to be more realistic, or to have a plan, or to, have a backup plan, right? It takes a special person to be like, oh no, I'm delusional enough to know that I can get there, because there's this much in between. And there's just special types of people that go, no, fuck that. I'm going to close that gap every single day. And that is, to your point, not the dominant way of thinking. At least I don't think so. I don't think like that. I sometimes, you have to stop yourself. You see X, Y, and Z, and you're like, I'll fucking never get to that. And then it makes you then be like, well, then I just won't do it at all.
You certainly never will, too. As soon as that thought entered your head, because now your mind's no longer looking for the solution.
Yeah.
Your mind is just acquiescing. Faith is the currency of all things.
How so?
You got to believe something's going to happen when you do it. You got to believe in the unseen. Mm-hmm. You got to, when you go up to do jiu-jitsu, you still go every day because you think you're going to get better. That's faith.
Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't have any proof of that.
Yeah, no, it's true. And self-belief is the first step into accomplishing anything. to set out a goal or to start a business or to do the podcast or to do acting or to do anything, you have to first believe you can do it. Otherwise, I feel like you're going to be going to it and you might not be trying as hard, might not be as consistent as you should be, because you're just maybe if you have that thought in the back of your head, like, oh, well, I can't actually do this, then there's going to be, that's going to take place. And like people talk about how you talk to yourself. That's a hard one. It's a fucking hard one, dude. So it's challenging because there's this balance, right? Where it's like, I'm trying to be self-critical and trying to then always think about ways that you can get better. But then how do you balance being self-critical and being reflective from being self-destructive and talking to yourself in a very negative fashion constantly? Yeah. And not really, then one of my biggest flaws is I can't see what I'm good at, but I can point out every single one of the things that I want to get better at. And I think that that's a strength and a negative in its own right. The strength comes from, okay, I can easily accept what I am not good at, and I try to get better at those things. But I have a very hard time of playing into my strengths because I don't recognize them.
Yeah, because you don't take time to appreciate where you're at.
Yeah. That and just like, fuck, I don't see it.
And that's like almost imposter syndrome too at the same time, where it's like, oh, I'm not that good. But like other people who are nowhere near that level look at you and be like, damn, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's you can't see the full picture because you're in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't see until you take a look back.
Which is why I told you earlier, like leaning in and focusing on the process. Get lost in the process.
Yep.
Make the process matter.
Yep.
And then you really don't even have to set goals at that point.
It's cliche, but it's fucking true. Enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
You don't even have to enjoy it. Just stick with
that too.
Be bored.
You should enjoy it.
Be bored. You know what I mean? Like sit in that quiet stillness, whatever it is, like let it be difficult. Let it be frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you're now transcending that skill you're learning, and now you are using that skill or that craft as an anvil to hammer out your character.
Yeah, we heard a quote recently. We were watching the PGF, the Professional Grappling Federation, and one of the guys competing, I believe that's where I heard it. One of the guys competing said that his parents, I believe, or his coach, a parental figure in his life, would always repeat to him, "We're gonna make hard things easy." Or we're gonna, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, but I've been thinking about that a lot. I was like, that's an interesting way to put it. We're gonna make hard things look easy, and just being excited to do hard things. Don't look at it as a bad thing. And this is a reframe that I constantly try to do with myself because it's hard, like competing, getting out there. People are watching. There is a feeling of like not wanting to let people down, then which keeps people from competing. I know a lot of people that have talked about this. Like,
that's interesting.
They don't want to compete because they feel like they're going to let people down, which I don't know where that comes from, right? Nobody.
Self-trust.
Yeah, nobody, because being someone who has competed and lost and won, and it really doesn't matter. But every time you restart that same cycle, and it's interesting. I think a lot of it doesn't necessarily get easier with time. I think it's just a matter of consistently doing it over and over and over again. And it's going to feel the same every single time. Every time I sign up for a tournament or go out to compete, it always feels the same.
Yeah. Developing self-trust, I think, is, again, this is why the older generations had so much self-reliance. They knew what they were capable of. They trusted themselves that if the occasion were to arise. Taporia said something I thought was really interesting. He said, when people are in this fight, they're so busy thinking about, what am I going to do if he hits me? What am I going to do if I get that? And he said, these fighters, while they're getting ready to go out, they've replayed the fight 4 to 5 times in their head. And he was like, that means they've already fought 5 times. Who do you think is more fresh when they get into the ring? He's like, I don't think about it. You have to deal. He's like, I know for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to have to deal with whatever is in front of me. That's where the challenge is. That's where the problem is going to be. But it does mean nothing to go in my head and to rehearse this over and over and over.
Yeah, he's a fascinating character.
He's interesting.
Wise.
He's interesting. It all begins in the mind. Like when you start telling yourself something is hard, it just became 10 times harder.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you are already turning a mountain out of a hill.
Yeah. People do this with mundane tasks very often. Told a story not too long ago. Taylor was just like, didn't want to do her taxes. And then took her 10 minutes.
And she's like, wow, I can't believe I let that bother me for weeks. Weeks.
Why are you worried about it for weeks? You know? But we do that with little things all the time.
Yeah, I do think thought impedes action.
Oh, yeah.
And I know for me, I'm a chronic overthinker. But one of the beautiful things about acting is it teaches you to kind of learn how to, you know, find a map. It teaches you how to map out your inner life. And I can't tell you how many hours and how much energy I've drained sitting on my couch trying to think my way out of my problems.
Yeah.
When I'm like, hey, Ty, I got a solution for you. Just go do it.
Yeah.
And be patient with the process and just watch what happens.
It's interesting. I mean, it's odd because it's not intuitive, right? It's not something that always makes sense to people. Like sitting down and thinking about it, a lot of people would tell you that makes sense. You should have a plan. I know that's what I always heard growing up. What's your plan? Do you have a plan? Oh, okay, you want to start this business? Well, what's the plan? And in reality, the plan is just
you can't prepare for what you
fucking
don't
figure
know.
it out.
You don't. Yeah, you have to take it challenge by challenge. Like, I think.
What up, y'all? I know, interrupting the conversation again. I apologize. Not really though, because I want to talk to you about a great product, Redmond's toothpaste. I know this is kind of silly, recommending a toothpaste, but dude, it has completely changed the way my mouth feels. It is a fantastic toothpaste. It's way better than any other toothpaste I've used, and that's just the truth. So you can get yours now as a What's Up Brodey listener. You can get 15% off with code Brodey, or you can follow my bio in my Instagram to check out, and that'll also get you 15% off. Now back to the conversation.
I know personally, I can get so stressed out thinking about how I'm going to deal with something.
that hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
I'm like, well, when it happens, trust yourself. Yeah, that's where the self-trust comes. And that's why I think people should develop skills, because you'll develop self-trust through that. But you got to be able to trust yourself that if something happens and you don't know the answer to it, it'll be okay. You can figure out the answer.
Yeah,
you don't have to have the answers out.
Yeah.
But I think that's where insecurities and social media has definitely perpetuated it quite dramatically. But people are so scared of looking like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at that. I've been looking like an idiot my whole life.
I say dumb shit all the time.
But authenticity, dude, has been my superpower.
Same.
And like the level of growth I've had, some people that haven't seen me in a while don't understand how I've come so far. I'm like, I haven't been ashamed to be a fool. Like, yeah, I've gone home sometimes and be like, why the fuck did you say that? That was so stupid. Why would you that? And like, there are times where like you're laying down and I'm like, I can't believe I was that stupid, but it was authentic. And because I allowed that to come out into the world, there was,
and life kept going.
Yeah. And I was able to get checked by whatever it was around me. And hey, so I learned that one the hard way. I touched the stove and it was hot. So I won't do that again. But it's way better than the alternative to just pretending like you have everything figured out and then
not.
Yeah.
And it's like, and how many, you're worried about something that hasn't happened yet. And you're like, how am I going to figure this out if this happens? Right? The paralysis by analysis. And how can we just never just take a second to think about how, well, we got this far. There's a million challenges from 0 to 32 that I've overcome, that I probably wasn't prepared for, that I never thought was going to be a challenge, but you overcame each and every one of them. How come we can't just take a step back and then recognize, like, this is what you've been doing your entire life. It's just a natural thing. Like, you're just going to figure it out because you have to. You have to, whether it's surviving, whether it's financially, whether it's whatever. Like, you're going to figure it out no matter what, because you have to. But in the moment, it's really hard to take that step back, do that self-reflection real quick and be like, oh, it doesn't matter what hasn't happened yet. It's not going to stop me. It's not going to halt me. But yet you still get caught up in that moment being like, well, fuck, dude, if I do this, what if this happens? Whereas most of the time, just do it.
Yeah, I do wonder what we're always so scared of. And like, that's where frustration comes from.
Well, fear is everything.
Yeah. They said there's two primary emotions. One of them's fear.
Mm-hmm. What's the other one?
The other's love.
Yeah.
Those are the two
Makes sense.
Those are the two primary. I hope I'm not, again, being an idiot. There might be.
Sounds right to me, but I'm also an idiot. So, so it's like, yeah, you know. But
like,
I mean,
what comes out of fear? Anger and frustration. At the root of anger and frustration. Like, if I'm working on a car and like it turns into a bigger problem than what it is, I'm gonna get frustrated. Why? Because I don't know how to fucking fix it, and that scares me.
how do the people stay in power? Fear, right?
Negative emotion.
Everything is always in the guise of safety.
And that's how I know how to make the right decisions in my life. Is this a fear-based decision? If it's a fear-based decision, I don't need to do it. That's what I thought the COVID vaccine was for a lot of people. People are so afraid.
1,000%. I
It's
got
like-
coerced into it by a bunch of people who were afraid.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but I allowed them to then cloud that judgment and make a decision for me.
They dominated your frame.
Yeah, for sure. Right, through other fear-based actions. What if you get somebody else sick? Well, if you don't get it, you can never meet these people, my parents, my ex-girlfriend at the time. You can never meet my parents. And I allowed these other fear-based decisions then make me make a decision that I was not afraid of at all. I wasn't slightly concerned. It was never on my radar. It was never something I was concerned about. I'm an extremely healthy person. I was never concerned about it. I never got it until I got the vaccine. And then I almost died. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it was never coming for me. It was never intended for me. The vaccine was intended for me. That's what was intended to kill me, not COVID itself. The vaccine was taking out young, healthy adults left and right. Fucking myocarditis and attacking, turning your cells, attacking your heart. Stanford comes out and does a whole study last year, and people still go like, oh, this was a magical fucking great phenomenon. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Are you just choosing not to pay attention? Goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning. There's this, people don't want to accept that we have been lied to every step of the way.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody.
I don't believe in coincidences no more. I don't trust nobody. Like, I'm definitely not idolizing nobody. Like, dude, we grew up with all these actors, all these companies that you enjoy, Nickelodeon, fucking, this actor, that actor. And then you're like, holy shit. All of y'all?
Things are not what they seem.
All of y'all?
Truth is stranger than fiction. A lot of these little like phrases you hear people say, like, truth is stranger than fiction or fiction. That stuff is true. Like, and we gloss over it, but like,
everybody wants a fairy tale. They want it to be easy. It's the path of least resistance. We want it to be easy. We're humans. It's just built into us. We want it to be easy. If we can take the easy road, 99% of people are going to take that easy road. Ooh, excuse me. It's why people don't go train consistently, because it's fucking hard.
Dude,
my body hurts right now. I've been sitting down all day long, and the last thing I wanted to do was sit down again.
Dude, I've been training for over 7 years, and anytime I take a break, I'm always anxious to start at a new gym.
Yeah.
I'm always anxious to go into
Yeah.
another. I'm like, the boxing trainer I was working with, he was like, Ty, you're a much better fighter than you think you are. And he was like, you should not be going in there and getting handled like that. And he's like, you just don't believe in yourself. It's stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see it. My buddy was just talking about this yesterday. He went to competition class, had a really good outing in competition class. And I'm like, how come you don't roll like that with me? And I was like, well, I'm scared of you. I wasn't scared of them. And I was like, you build these people up and you put them on a pedestal in one way or another. And then when you are either rolling with them or you're sparring with them or whatever, if you allow that, dominate that, you're going to make mistakes when you're rolling with them. You're not going to be at your best. You're going to be very cagey. And I feel like that's a parallel to everything that we're talking about.
Bruce Lee said it best. There is no enemy. There is no enemy. It's only me versus me.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the commercialization of mixed martial arts is taking people away from that philosophy that really trains people to, like, the fight is won in the mind. Like Taporia said, the fight is won in the mind before the fight even happens. So whoever is thinking the correct way has already won.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out because Paramount and Larry Ellison now own the UFC. So we'll see what happens.
Breaks my heart, man. It doesn't
We'll see what
feel
happens.
the same. The cards have not been that great.
They've been fantastic. Shut your mouth.
They have not.
You're a goddamn lie. That's a goddamn lie.
The only card I've been excited for was last night or Saturday.
Dude, every card has been bananas.
Dude.
This White House card, as much as I'm
so sick of seeing my heroes lose.
So sick.
I'm so
well, we're going to see Gaethje get knocked out by a very angry and depressed and divorced Taporia.
I hope he doesn't come in angry, and I hope he doesn't come in with outside, and
dude, this man was knocking people out happy. I am terrified of what
I think he's locked in now.
Slightly angry, locked in, revenge body Taporia does.
Dude, it was funny as the Nelk boys called it.
I know,
he got so mad when he. What do you mean? I just didn't think you'd meet a wife in Miami. He was heated over that one.
I know, man. That's as much as I have a very love-hate relationship with this White House card. The card itself is fantastic. The premise of it and the timing of it is terrible. I understand from the UFC's point of view, they've invested a shit ton of money. You're not backing out at this point, regardless. Like, you're just not. The powers that be will not allow you to either. But they've probably invested millions. And so they have to follow through. But it is awful timing. It is also outdoors. And I can't help to put my little tinfoil. I don't want to see it I don't even know if I want to watch it live. I am terrified. I think I want to let it ride, pray that nothing happens, and then if nothing happens, I'll watch it after the fact. Because I have a terrible feeling about this. And I hope I'm wrong. But I have a terrible feeling about this. It's outdoors. This is impossible to lock down. It's impossible. This is a security nightmare. And I'm not convinced that they really want to lock it down that much. Dude, this whole fucking correspondence dinner bullshit. Like.
And the rabbit hole with that guy.
Dr. Oz?
With the guy that actually did, like, the shooter.
Oh, Cole Allen, who was tweeted about in 2023, and it was the only tweet of this account, and it's tied back.
Dude, I don't.
It's too much,
That's
bro.
why I don't even pay attention. I'm just like, you know what? The only thing I can control is my actions today. How can I make my life and other people's life better?
I know. I just, I'm really focused on just like, how can we make the community better on a small scale? We have to stop with this fucking
global.
We have to stop.
If I'm not big, I'm nothing. Like, no,
yeah, we have to stop.
You can change somebody's life by being nice to somebody in the grocery store.
Yeah, it's interesting because I did 7 grams of shrooms once.
Nice.
And that was the exact message that I got from the deity or whoever was speaking to me, God, or whoever it was. That was the exact message. You'll never be this overly rich or famous person, but you'll be a pivotal part of your community. And I see this coming true more and more and more. I thought it was really, really cool. Last week, that the JT Cattle podcast episode was one of my most listened to episodes of recent. And it's still not anything crazy. It's a couple hundred, like 150 views and whatever.
Look at how you just
Spotify.
framed that.
But
look how you just framed that.
No, I know. But yeah,
but it is a big thing.
It is.
You have to appreciate that. That's a win.
It was a win. It was because it was cool. Because they don't have an Instagram, and so typically a lot of my views come from the kindness of the person sitting across from me's heart of collabing with my page. The page doesn't have a ton of followers. We're building it up, but the people usually sitting across from me have far more followers than the podcast page does. And so a lot of the views come from the kindness of them collabing with the podcast page and allowing it to be on their page and blasting it to their followers, right? And that's how it continues to grow. And so it was really, really cool to see that the only guest out of 76 episodes that didn't have an Instagram is one of the most watched recent episodes. And it was particularly cool that it was local ranchers and that it is people who directly impact the community, directly feed the community. I buy from them every single Saturday. I see them every single Saturday, and I have for the last 3+ years.
It just goes to show people do not trust. They don't trust whoever is supplying things. I mean, I think you're starting to see that people do not trust corporate entities. They don't.
We're seeing a switch.
Yeah.
But is it too late?
No.
This is my fear. And the reason why I asked that is because I thought about this yesterday. And it sounds like a duh, and I'm sure other people have had this thought, but it really kind of clicked for me yesterday. I was like, dude, this whole AI thing, they're just building something that's going to be extremely obedient. And this thought came from the Maul TV show. Have you seen Maul? The new Star Wars show?
Dude, I do not watch that Star Wars shit after what they've done to it.
That's valid. The Darth Maul show it's good. It's animated, so we didn't have to, it was good. It's good. And so one of the characters is a robot, Two Boots, and he ends up being overly obedient and snitching and fucks everything up, right? And I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, dude, because he's a police officer. Two Boots is the AI robot. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's what they want. They want they're just creating something that's going to be overly obedient, because we're getting to the point where we're not obedient. Nobody wants to be anymore. People in jobs, people are fed up, and rightfully so, but people are fed up. And as to your point, they're not trusting these global corporate organizations. All right. People are paying more attention to the labels when they go to the grocery store. People are searching for local ranchers, local farms. They're seeking it out more. There's also more opportunity to buy from those guys because now they can just spin up a Shopify shop and ship it directly to you. There's far more. That distrust is now leading to people to find other avenues, and they're looking it up. There's that live food app that if you scan the barcode, it tells you if they're owned by a parent company, because it's fucking hard to tell unless you pay attention, right? You would never know that Bolt House Farms, the smoothie, those little sold as healthy smoothies at the grocery stores, is owned by Coca-Cola or Pepsi, one of the two. Pepsi owns 650 brands.
We live in an age where everybody could be extremely educated
and choose not to be, because it's depressing.
Because it's easy not to.
It is easy. Well, it's also easier not to, because
so much noise, man.
There's a lot of noise on purpose. It's also, hard to tell what's real and not real. I still think Netanyahu's dead.
If you want the easy way to buying correct groceries, just buy kosher.
Yes. Look for the U, the K.
Just get kosher.
Just whatever brand.
They really know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's this whole thing is so crazy. It's what's coming out, what people are talking about, people's like perspective on everything, and it's just like, whew, man.
Our little safe bubbles aren't as safe as we thought they were, huh?
Yeah, dude. I think Netanyahu's dead. I think this whole they just publicly announced he has blood cancer or
really?
or ulcer or some kind of cancer, right? And I think this is just their slow rollout.
Over a month ago, right? Where the rumors started circulating.
Yeah, because dude, if you don't want people to put their tinfoil hats on or to be conspiratorial, then don't fucking post 7 AI videos in a row trying to tell us that he's alive.
It's probably the administration still wants to retain the power.
Well, of course.
And they can do a lot more.
If it came out that he was actually officially dead, then a lot of things would...
It's like, well, who's really running the show then? And I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to end up on a watch list.
You mean the anti-Semitism task force now that was created in the White House.
Is it? Was there really?
Yes. Ran by a rabbi.
You hear about the rabbi that was just found dismembered in Colombia?
No shit. In Colombia? Like the country?
He was lured by he was going to find a wife.
Dumb.
They found him dismembered in a closet. A New York rabbi.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, there's some
wild stuff going on.
There is. Like President Milei of Argentina. How there's rumors of him being related to Netanyahu. And how they're making it like a sanctuary there in Argentina, and then the burnings of the parts of the Amazon forest, and the Maui flyers, and all these different things.
And how none of the blue roofs caught on fire in Maui.
Really?
Yeah.
I do remember something maybe about that.
Because blue reflects.
And then it's so easy for people to just be like, you're fucking crazy. And you're right. You know what? Maybe so. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am crazy.
But we have to go to these places because we don't trust the authorities that are in place.
Because how many times have we been lied to?
It's socially engineered. So I really got to a place I probably am crazy. And I doubt the validity of half the things I think.
But at the same time,
the pattern is there. I see a pattern.
But at the same time, I doubt it less and less every day. So why is that?
More shit comes out and you're like, I'm not surprised by anything that's been coming. Everyone's like, oh, did you see? I'm like, guys.
Yeah.
I've gone down these rabbit holes.
Yeah, shocked for me is not the right word. I joke about this a lot.
Disappointed,
I've said it 1,000 times on the podcast, but it's one thing to just be a conspiracy theorist. It's another then when it's widely confirmed.
Over and over
and then
over.
The world just doesn't acknowledge it. And then and then it just happens and it repeats over and over and over and over again. And you're like, how many fucking times does Alex Jones have to be right?
And I don't even think Alex Jones is on our team. I think he's dude, it's just the amount of, misdirection is ridiculous. It's like Joe Rogan, since I stopped watching Joe Rogan around 2021 because I found out that Jamie's dad was in military intelligence.
Really?
Yeah, and that's Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm starting to see a little correlation here.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
you know what I mean? Are you even able to become these platforms without some type of ulterior motive being put into place?
I know. And how much is it?
Again,
how much is it their choice?
Joe Rogan's opening little graphic, there's the eye.
Yeah.
And so, and even the lightning bolts, if you look into the symbology of that.
Yeah, and it's how much of it is their choice? Or how much of his threats?
Well, they definitely threatened him live on his podcast where the guy had his bank account pin. Dude. And Joe's face was very happy with that one.
This guy is popping up everywhere. He was at the correspondence dinner talking to Trump the moment the shot started.
What's his name?
Dr. Oz.
Oh, yeah.
He's also born in Israel. Coincidence? So it's he's just and now he's just on Chris Williamson. which bums me out too, because that means they're coming for him. It got him or coming for him too.
I like Chris.
I know.
He works out at Lift ATX.
Look, I fuck with Joe too. Like, but
I don't know, dude.
because here's my thing, right? We can't take away everything that he has done.
I appreciate,
and he didn't ask for this level of fame,
bro. There's a clip of him saying, "You tell me about the UFOs right now. I'll lie to my mother right now." I'm like, Joe, you son of a.
I know, but he still has done so much. The COVID stuff, super important,
dude. What he did to Theo on that podcast, broke
I know.
my heart. And you could see where Theo realizes it clicks. I was in the mountains when Kurt got shot. Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean he
was in the podcast live with Charlie Sheen when that happened.
Yeah, and he tweeted about that and said like he misspoke.
He did not misspeak.
Bro. No, and like I know,
he just doesn't want to talk about it because somebody has come and said, "Hey, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, I haven't been able to listen for like 2-3 months now. So I was still listening pretty actively because a lot of it like wasn't as obvious to me, at least. Also, I don't know. Like I just really enjoy the show. That's why this is a thing, right? Because I appreciated what he was doing and how he was allowing his friends to come on and build their platform using his platform. And I think that's the coolest thing that can be done.
It is super cool.
And so I love the idea. But as of late, it's been tough because it does seem more and more this way. And you're like, fuck, dude. Everybody gets got.
And I don't think it's, I know people like to blame certain cultures or peoples. I really don't think it's that. I think it's evil people in touch with evil spiritual forces, which is a shame.
You just all happen to be a part of a singular culture, though. It's just, I mean,
I'm not saying anything, but I'm, yeah, isn't it crazy that even in this current age of free speech, we are still scared to talk about certain things.
Oh, I'm not.
I play World of Warcraft and I'm in an Australian guild.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them about this and they said, well, you're lucky because if we even talk about it, we get arrested. I said, holy shit, what?
But that's coming. That's coming. People believe it's called Project Zephyr.
Fun.
People believe that that's why the DHS was buying all those warehouses.
Well, I say that's what one of the oldest conspiracies in the books is Walmarts have been designed to be martial law holding detainment centers. Walmart, martial law.
What's the connection?
So when martial law is enacted, they're going to start taking people to all these Walmarts. There's Walmarts everywhere.
There's
in every location.
A lot of Walmarts, yeah.
Why are there Walmarts everywhere?
Well, people.
You should look that one.
I mean, shit, dude, you can go as far as like the human meat in McDonald's, right? Like,
I don't eat McDonald's anymore. I used to love it, and let me tell you what. Dude, bro, when I was driving Lyft, McDonald's was the G.
Yeah, dude, I know.
And now all that stuff coming out, with hearing some of the rabbis talk about what they put into the McDonald's is our greatest distributor. I'm like, well, that shit is concerning.
Look, you don't want people to talk about it that don't have the stories right themselves.
But honestly, what really pissed me off about McDonald's was how my McDouble went from being $1 to $2.25, and they shrunk the sandwich in half.
Sounds about right.
I said, "What the fuck is going on here? I want my dollar menu back."
Of course.
That's where they lost me. The dollar menu.
Always increase profits. Always.
Dollar menu.
Always got to be increasing profits, no matter what. Always. Because 100 million ain't enough. You got to make 200 million. 200 million ain't enough. You got to make.
Dude, money's not even real to some of these people. Money's not even real. It's a construct.
It is. It's not backed by anything. Not the U.S. dollar.
And it's all about to be worthless, anyways.
Dude, brother, we are hitting a wild time. Digital currency, this digital ID. I saw something. I didn't look it up to see if like this was actually said or not, but I saw a quote allegedly from Bill Gates that if you don't get a digital currency by 2028, you're going to be just left behind.
Cool.
Yeah.
Please leave me the fuck out of whatever you guys are building, because I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Dude, I want land so bad because I want to be able to hunt my own game. I want to put a well on the property, and I want solar panels so that I can have my own energy, get some chickens. That is the dream. If I could get to that place, I would be so content.
No, I agree. I think that is exactly what they don't want you to do. I think a commune is I think that's the way to go. I think it's the way to go. You self-police, you self-govern. Like, it doesn't have to be that big. 10, 20 families. It doesn't have to be anything fucking crazy, but...
That's what that TV show Homestead is supposed to be about. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm. No, but there's a lot more of this stuff like popping up. Like, you see it on YouTube. You see people building their own stuff, like more like how-tos, all these different things. And, it's something we talk about a lot, getting land. And, there's other buddies of mine who are like, dude, we should all just get land together.
Deuce out.
And ultimately, I think that's the fucking goal because, dude, I don't think that there's... What's going to stop this machine? Like, what's going to stop this? This is not going to get stopped.
No, I told you. It was lost when the natives lost. That's when it began.
Slowly, but surely. I mean, it's all like... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it can be stopped.
But with all... So, it's really easy to spiral down this, like, all doom and gloom. This is why I love my faith worldview. This is because scripturally, God says, if I take care of the birds and they don't labor, how much more shall I take care of you? And it's stated so many times that God is the provider, not man. You can work a job, but that job's not what's paying you. God is the one providing. And I cling on to that, dude, and I swear there have been like times where I've had nothing, don't know how rent's going to get paid, and somehow everything just falls through. And so I hold on to that, and that is my comfort. And I do think I look at this world as temporal. So all these people doing whatever they're doing, have your fun, because this is all but a vapor. This will all pass away, but there is something more eternal. And what is my pilgrimage here for? What am I supposed to be doing? It's a hell of a lot more than just entertaining myself.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to...
Cut straight through the fog.
I think so. But I also think there's a little bit of coping in that as well, because I enjoy living right now. I am sure I want and hope and kind of believe that there is something then afterwards. But I want to live. I want to enjoy right now. I don't want it to continue this way or continue going that way. I have a kid. I have the next generation. Like, I don't want it to go that way, right? And so there is, that's my issue with that kind of like, it's almost like deflecting it and being like, well, it's okay. Because at the end of all this, God's going to take care of it. And it's like, I hope so, yes.
Yeah.
But what about right now? Like, what are you going to do for the next, we're 30. We still got another 50 years, 60 years. What about the next 60 years?
At the end of the day, I realize that I'm helpless to do anything anyways. Like, this idea of control is not real. None of us are in control. None of us ever will be. Even the people that are with their nice 6-figure jobs, they think they have everything. They think that they're self-sustaining. All it takes is that industry to become obsolete and you have nothing. Nobody's in control. We're all dependent.
So no free will?
I think we are free to choose our attitude.
Elaborate.
How you respond to something is in your choice.
Yeah.
And that can determine what happens to you in your circumstances, for sure. But ultimately, I think, a lot of progress is divinely ordained. And I don't necessarily know why certain things happen or why certain things go which way. I know that bad is used for good all the time. Not a justification for bad, but I've seen it. And I know that, again, I know there are two spiritual forces working. And I'm just going to go ahead and trust mine, because I'm already seeing what the other side is doing and how destructive that is and where that leads. So, if it's in my power to do something, I will. But that's not necessarily my choice to make either.
Yeah. Do you think it's predetermined?
I think time has already happened. I think everything's already happened.
What does that mean?
So we keep track of time because it's a construct. But who's to say time can't? The past can happen. You can change the past right now. You can change it in your head.
Yeah. Well, artificially.
I think whatever spiritual forces exist outside of the time continuum. They've already seen it all. They already know where was what. So
Maybe.
that's just, again, you got to be a little bit crazy. Me, in my case, I think I'm 90% unhinged crazy and 10% logical. But I'm very intuitive about things, which means I come to conclusions I have no proof or credibility for to even come to.
What? I think, shit,
And it's not necessarily a great way to operate your life either.
I don't know. Is it? Not?
I don't know. I catch on to things.
What's the alternative? The alternative is you just believe everything you're told. You trust, and then you end up being a fan of the system.
Or
being in the system. Or dependent on the system.
Yeah, dude. I've just had so many supernatural spiritual encounters that I know.
Like what?
So, first off, the eye thing was pretty supernatural. But, when I was 18, I had a dream where Satan had me in my childhood home. He said, I'll give you everything. I'll give you the world. Just tell me what you want. And when I woke up, I was in sleep paralysis. And so I don't know why, but my instinct was to say Jesus. And when I said it, immediately I was able to break free, and I was sweating. And I look up at the ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan stops and starts going the opposite way. And then the motor and the ceiling fan starts smoking and burning. And I've met with Satan 3 other times in my dreams of him always offering the same thing. And one of the times, I had been taken up to this elevator by this, it was this sigil, this during my, I'll preface it, during my stint of meditation, there were animals that would show up to me and I would interact with them. One of them was a white tiger. And a lot of these experiences were also auditory. It wasn't just purely visual. And I knew that this woman was the white tiger, and she was taking me up the elevator. And I go into this room, and this girl sitting at a table, and there's these contracts. There's one contract at an empty spot, and it's her, and she's bawling. And they told me her time's up. Her time's over. She signed the contract. And the girl was crying, but then the girl smiled wickedly and was like, I wouldn't change it for the world, or some shit like that. And then I walk over to the couch, and there's this woman with red hair, and she's just kind of lounged out looking at me. And on TV, there's a Spider-Man, a movie of Spider-Man playing. And I was like, I have to give you my soul if I want to be Spider-Man in a movie. And she didn't say anything. But I knew, when you're in the dream state, you kind of have this knowing about certain situations. The other time, I actually had discourse with Satan. And every time he would lie to me, I would call him out on it. And he would, without hesitation, go into another lie. Into another lie. Into another. It was just endless. Father lies. And so I've always had what I felt was a spiritual target on my back. And for me, I felt like there had to be a reason for that, The last one I had was actually 6 to 8 months ago. goes back to the eye. When I was painting, I had painted an eye like back in 2016. I saw the canvas. For whatever reason, I had the intuitive. I said, I'm just going to paint white all over this. And I did. And when I went to sleep, I went through like this tower of different levels of deceit. It almost felt like a reverse of Dante's Inferno, where he goes through the hellscape and he's seeing all these different levels of sin and the consequences that it has on, the communities around them. And I got to this man in like priestly robes walks out, and he had like a golden baby mask, like a smiling golden baby mask. And I walked up to him, and like something just like ushered out of me, and I'm pretty sure it came from the Holy Spirit, but it was like, he belongs to God, the Holy Spirit. And there was this huge like golden flash, like a pop. And like I woke up, like I had gone through this like golden tube of like my soul returning to my body. I've seen shades. I've had instances where like my dog would back up into me and start growling at nothing, but then I'd follow his head, and he would like be looking at the mirror in front of me, and the mirror would just come off the wall and slam. And in that instance, I was like, by Jesus' name, you have to get out of here or whatever. But my voice was dual toned. There were two voices. It wasn't just my voice. I've had stuff like that. When I go to lay down at night, I'd hear like my name being whispered, or like lady screams. What really started off all the supernatural warfare was, like I said earlier, I had done that 9-month, stint of like Eastern Buddhism. I really got into Zen. Alan Watts was like somebody who I studied a lot. I got really deep into philosophy, Hinduism. And then one day I came across this YouTube video called The New Age Deception. Everything in me was screaming, like, don't watch this, because everything you know is about to be shattered. So I said, you know what? If what I believe is that fragile, that it can be changed, then it's not the truth. And so I watched it, and at the end of it, I said, everything I've been doing disguised as New Age spirituality is actually described in the Book of Satanism by Anton LaVey. So I called Jesus into my life in that moment, and I felt like vibrations come out of me. Like stuff was coming out of me. It was weird. And then for 2 to 3 weeks after that, it was like wake up and there'd be a shadow figure with a hat on staring at me in the mirror and just like walk out. Or like I'd close my eyes and I would see like these demonic things just like looking at me. A lot of my dreams after that point, I remember I had a dream of this little girl, and she was like, I see the kingdom to heaven has been opened in your eyes. I just want to stab you 1,000,000 times. Like there was a lot of like demonic exorcisms happening in my dreams. I remember I would be sitting down for like, I would have like a glass and there'd be ice in it, and I'd be watching TV and I'd hear chinking, and I look down, the ice cubes are swirling and then come to a complete stop. Or like at night, my keys would lift up and start shaking, or I'd look up and see like an apparition of a shade. One of the creepiest ones was back when I was living in Round Rock. Every time I slept in the living room of this apartment, it would be like I was dreaming, but I would be in the apartment, and I would look, and it was the girl from The Ring, and she would just be staring at me, and then she would like freak the fuck out and like run out the door. Every time I slept in the living room, that same repetitive action. And the closest experience I had to that was we had went to go film in Corsicana, and I went to the back room, to the dressing room, and slept on the couch. And, they were like, this place is haunted. There are ghosts here. And I remember I was in that same like sleep state, but I could see the room around me. And these 2 little boys were standing in front of me. And they were like, why are you in here? Everybody's out there working. And I was like, oh, because I'm tired. And then I woke up. And then I went and talked to the owner, and I said, hey, by the way, the two ghosts that haunt this place, they're 2 little boys, huh? And she goes, yeah, how did you know? I was like, oh, I just met them. So I've always had that type of connection to whatever it is. And I can't always explain it, but I know it's real.
Do you think you have these encounters, especially with like Satan in general, because you're teetering on something? You are having.
I think I have a spiritual gifting. And he doesn't want that used because that means he loses souls. And I don't necessarily think I'm, as much as I wrestle with God and do my best to encapsulate, Christianity, I think I fail at it. So I think, I don't even want to say it out loud, but like when I don't find any resistance from the other side, the enemy, I know that I'm not a threat because I'm not living the way I'm supposed to be living. And that's a whole other conversation because, dude, it is hard. It is hard to live the truth in this day and age, whatever that truth is, because everybody's got something to say. Everybody's going to critique or tear you apart. Everybody's going to, pick and prod. And that's okay.
Doesn't that come back to that self-belief?
I think it's more than self-belief. It's like, yeah.
Because you clearly believe what you're saying, whether...
Yeah, I mean, the experience has been so visceral. And I mean, for the longest time, when that initially happened, after I watched that video, my whole worldview completely crashed. And then I started seeing symbolism everywhere. Everything made sense to me, why the world was organized the way it was. And it was really depressing. And I had to rebuild.
I'm going through that right now.
It's a difficult thing that you feel like a zombie. You don't know how to adjust to life around you.
Well, it just feels so obvious.
Yeah.
You just look around and you're like, oh, I know exactly how we got here.
Yeah.
And it may not have started off intentional, but the powers that be definitely, like for instance, take like Oxycontin for example, or something like that. Like, do I think they set out to kill a bunch of people with it right off the bat? Maybe, maybe not. Did they know pretty quickly that it was going to kill a lot of people and they just then kind of brushed it under the rug? Yeah. Right. Another interesting one is kind of like the feminism movement, like how it started with like the Rockefellers and them making these gender studies purposefully. And then you start to think about like where there's some positives, sure. Then you start thinking of the negatives of it though too, right? And like the real reason why they orchestrated this movement, it wasn't for the betterment of people or the betterment of society, right? Could people have treated women better? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's like I think that's all of time. We've just always kind of gotten better, right? But then these movements become forced. Whereas like naturally, that just has happened, right? Where the movements then get hijacked and they have an agenda behind them.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask yourself, why would the feminist movement be something the Rockefellers are interested in?
Well,
if the Rockefellers are, messengers of some evil entity, and the Bible clearly states the order, the hierarchy of the family. And if we are made in God's image, again, you want to corrupt that image. Because Satan can't create, he's not a creator. He's not God, he can't create. But what he does is he likes to imitate. He's like gold-plated shit. That's what he is. So what do? Like, why does the rainbow represent the LGBTQ movement? That was God's original sign of the covenant.
Yeah. It's interesting because but then you can't have the conversation because then you're immediately this, that, and then other. And it's just like, well, I just want to talk about it. Just like, let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about how they felt that women are easier to indoctrinate. And so what was the best way to do it? Well, you start to push them to universities. And it's not that there wasn't, it's always hidden under the positives. Because there is positives in that. Then women can then go on and pursue their careers if they choose to do so, right? But the wide scale result of that is less kids, less people taking care of their own kids, then depending on daycares, depending on public schooling, dependent on the system.
Well, there's also this implication that because a man as a leader that he's better. And that's not true at all.
There's definitely people that, or the flip side of it, right? Men feel that way.
There's each role. Each person has a role. And I do believe women should be educated. You know, I do believe, but like the education that we rely on is...
But what is education? Is going to university education?
No, I don't consider that education.
That's where I think people...
I consider universities indoctrination centers.
Yeah, I think that's where it gets convoluted, right? I think that's where it gets murky, because is that education? Or is what you were saying, building up skills, having a purpose, having reason. Like it's interesting, dude, because it's you're just like, we're seeing it, dude. We're seeing a declining birth rate. We're seeing both people in the families having to work. Right? Then people shipping their kids off to daycare at 3 months old, 6 months old.
So now who's going to oversee the growth of that? And social engineering is interesting. You know how they got the Japanese to accept coffee? Japanese didn't used to drink coffee. They went, I don't know the guy's name, but one of the big coffee companies was trying to figure out how they could get Japan to start selling their product. And so somebody came in and said, what you need to do is you need to create a coffee flavored candy and introduce it to the youth of Japan. Then by the time they get to a certain age, they're not going to be reluctant or resistant to coffee, because they've had this wonderful coffee flavored candy growing up that now there's a universal understanding that, hey, this is good. And that was how they introduced coffee to Japan.
It makes sense, because again, most people are just going to go along with it.
But if you want to make something prevalent, you can weed it out. You can make it prevalent through a couple of generations through social engineering.
100%.
And the level of social engineering is at a level that I don't think I can even comprehend, because it doesn't seem real or feasible. It doesn't seem to me that there are people sitting around planning that. You know what I mean? Like, what type of power do you have to be?
See, and this is where then people immediately discredit it. Because that point right there.
It sounds too crazy to believe, because it's so outside of the relative experience most people live.
So that's where I stumble with it, where it's like, did it initially start this way for this reason? Like, did they foresee it that far in advance? Or did something happen and then they saw a very small batch of evidence and they're like, more of that.
Well,
let's do more of that.
Look at the Card Against Humanity. Look at the shit that's on those things. And I mean, dude, it's just like, I do think I think the story of our world is scripted.
100%. How so?
I think things are arranged, you know.
Like, okay, give me an example.
For example, I think the Charlie Kirk thing was purposeful. To a certain extent, I think the fact that we even know about the Epstein files is purposeful. I don't think there's
I've thought about this.
If they didn't want that out, they wouldn't have released it. Why do they?
I've thought about this angle.
Yeah, because where there's confusion, there's evil. Just keep.
Doesn't it kind of go back though to like, isn't like the whole root of the entire conspiracy about pretty much all of this, that they have to tell you first?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like the root of it?
They call it some like satanic karmic cycle. I don't know if I buy into that. I think they can do it regardless. I don't know if that's.
But doesn't it kind of seems that way though? You watch it through movies.
I think they like to gloat. And I think you know, a lot of the shit they do is fucking sick. Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson talking about like a robot that molests kids and they're laughing about it, or Ellen DeGeneres has a disease that comes from cannibalism right now.
Really?
And one of her producers, Twitch, said that she had eaten over 12,000 pizzas. You see the video of her partner when she was declared dead at the scene of her crash?
I have seen.
And bitch is trying to get off the gurney. She's like, they throw her back down.
I have seen this video, yes. But again, what the fuck is real and what's not real?
Dude.
Is the video real? because I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like Plato's cave, man. The allegory of the cave. You know, there's these three guys, and they're chained up, and all they can see are the shadows on the cavern wall. And they start to think that's their reality until one guy gets free and runs out of the cave and goes, holy shit, and runs back to tell the other people chained up, and they laugh at him.
Well, I'm watching it right now. Silo on Apple TV with Rebecca Ferguson.
Is it good?
Have you seen this? Mm-mm. Same exact concept of everything that we're talking about. So, spoiler alert, sorry. If you haven't watched it, then just skip ahead. Essentially, they're in like a post-apocalyptic world, and they live in these silos. And at the beginning of the show, you're made to believe that there's only one silo, and there's the head of IT who's essentially like running the whole show, and they only pass down the information that is necessary. And it's been like 350 years since people lived outside, and like books and like anything from the past before the silos is called relics, and they're all illegal. And so people aren't allowed to read. They don't even know what outside looks like. They don't know what it used to look like. They don't know what beaches are. They don't know what birds are. They don't know what animals are. All these things, right? They've only lived in the silo, because now we're 350 years later. We're multiple generations in, where all of that knowledge has been now essentially located to one person at the very top. They have access to the knowledge, and that's it. And now they control the complete narrative. And so then it just trickles down through the silo. And there's only 10,000 people in the silo. And it's the exact same concept. Like you can see exactly how this would work. It's clear as day. It's like, oh, this is very easy, actually. It's very simple. It would take time, but it would work, right? Like the Russians told us that this was going to happen to us in 1984.
Yeah,
Yuri Bezmenov, right? He told us exactly what was going to happen. And it did. And it is currently. And so Edward Snowden, another example of somebody who's just like, he told you what was coming, what was going to happen, right? And like, so again, in Silo, there's people who kind of like start to dabble in it, and they start to figure out little bits of pieces, and then people just call them crazy, or they tell them to stop talking about it because you're going to get killed, and so then it turns out like there is multiple silos, but they didn't know about any of them. They all connect through a tunnel, and all of this information is just centralized to one person.
Where have you seen that narrative before?
Life.
There's another show that's really popular right now. It's that post-apocalyptic video game that it was based off of.
Last of Us.
No. Different one. This one is like there's a nuclear fallout.
Fallout. Yeah.
So when you start seeing these like patterns in narrative storytelling, that should always be a clue, dude. And all this
15-minute cities.
How many of these post-apocalyptic shows are becoming the dominant fixture in our television?
It's interesting because then you're like, well, it's eerie. And you want to keep watching. It is. And you want to keep watching because you're like, but when I'm watching the show, I'm like, dude, this is like, you get like a very odd feeling because you're like, this is where we're headed.
But
it's inevitable.
Even that is like, what does feeling that do for your life? Not good.
No, it's definitely negative.
Yeah. And it goes back to like music with what they did with rap music. And you have your TV dude, our era in art is suffering from hope. Like in the 90s, everything was hopeful. Right now, everything is like, it has to be ultra realistic. It has to be like dark and like gloomy and like, why do we want to put that out into society? How does that help anybody?
Well, you're numbing people to it. You're desensitizing them.
Yeah. And that's my mission. I want to make stories that bring hope and like show people the hopeful intent, like, because for all the negative we see, there is a beauty to humanity and it's rarely captured, but you know it when you see it because it gives you like shivers, and like you immediately are filled with like this like wonder and awe and like the potential for humanity to be good.
It's the same thing with social media.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of negative aspects, but there's a glooming amount of positives.
Yeah. I'd like to see hope return to our stories, because we can do that. I think, we can save, we're not going to save everyone, but we can save some people, make sure their lives aren't doom and gloom, and people aren't scared to leave their apartments or look strangers in the eyes walking down the street anymore, because, everybody's so on edge. It's just not a good thing for people to be feeling. And we feed it, we shovel it down their throats.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I can't watch most stuff now anymore, because I'm just like, I like, it might be an interesting story, and the performances are probably great, and that's probably what keeps people watching. Yeah. It's just like the art, the sleight of hand you see in theater. Let's use theatrics and all these wonderful, attentive gathering performances, and then let's just soak them with this, like, I forget the word for it, but it's it definitely permeates and it spreads, and it's not good. We need shit that's gonna give people life, not take it from them.
Yeah, it's an interesting time.
Like I said, nothing new under the sun. Every generation has had their own unique set of challenges, and Fight Club wasn't too far off the mark, man. We are in a spiritual war. Our war is spiritual, against materialism, against the bombardment of
consumerism,
commercial interest. It's just, as soon as we have all the tools we need to illuminate ourselves, and that's the first step. Just start developing our understanding, start trying to be a little more patient with each other, start trying to be a little more understanding, start trying to introduce that light into our local communities, and you'll be surprised, how many torches we can light.
Yeah, it is odd. Just like how many days you can make by just telling someone to have a good day. It's crazy, the reactions. Like, people are like, wow.
Or like telling someone they're valued, like, I value you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
but meaning it, like looking them in the eyes.
Yeah.
Not just like, but like having connection, and that's what people are missing right now. Technology is not a substitute for connection. I know people think it is, but it is not.
Yeah, it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
You don't have to call nobody.
Artificial.
You don't have to call nobody. You can text everybody.
You don't have to like go into the discomfort of feeling embarrassed or, all these things. Come on, stay in your nice flat line comfort. Yeah. Just take your sedation and...
Don't call your girlfriend to break up with her. Don't do it in person.
Just ghost her.
Text her.
No, just ghost her.
You don't even have to. Yeah, you don't even have to.
Just block her and ghost her and hope she never finds you.
That is one of the weirdest things that we're in right now, where it's just accepted, and you just have to accept it, because it's so common now. If someone just doesn't respond, it's not that they didn't see it, they're just not going. Like, right, if you send out an invite and someone doesn't respond, it just means that they're not going. It's really weird. Like, what? Like,
they're just scared of the emotional confrontation.
It's so common.
Which, now that we're talking about it, it makes sense. I do acting, so I have to connect with other people. Like, it's part of my training. So it's not something I necessarily am missing in my life. But how many other people don't get to explore these interactions in a safe environment? For me, I can, it's just like a spar. I can be shouting at somebody in a scene, and then cut, we're best friends. Like, no consequences.
How many people's friends are only coworkers?
Shit, how many people's coworkers are even their friends?
Well, that's what I mean. Right? Like, but that's their only.
That's the only interaction they have.
The only interaction that they have.
It's sad, dude, and that is where.
But you see it though.
That's the fundamental break.
They love to put you in corporate happy hours, team dinners, all these things, and people get really excited for them. And it's not that they're not like team building or whatever, right? But it is odd, like how many people those are their only friends. But any of them would stab them in the back if it meant a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Or like snitch on them if it benefited themselves.
We all just want to be loved. We all just want to know that we matter. That's really at the base of everything. We all just want to know that we matter and that we have significance. And we don't have to be A-list celebrities to be that.
Yeah, people just want to be respected.
Yeah. So, I have hope. I have hope that, by people being engulfed by all this, it's going to make the light a lot easier to notice.
Oh, you're already seeing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're seeing it. Like more and more people are talking about it. More and more people see it. More and more people are aware of it. And a lot of people will say that is the positive of all this coming to light. It's the positive. That's the positive of it, is that, like you mentioned with the Epstein files, whether it was on purpose to release them or maybe they just had to, or whatever the case may be. Maybe that was like a small glimpse of good winning for a second there. Or whatever the reason is that, well, what it did do at least is then open the doors or open the eyes of a lot of people to at least start exploring alternative thinking, or maybe that we were lied to a little bit about this, maybe about this, right? Or like you see the fact that they're talking about the pandemic in 2017 or 2018 in the files, and you're like, okay, well, explain that one for me.
Why did the owner of the
Like,
Twin Towers take out terrorist insurance a month before the towers got hit?
why was Southwest the most shorted stock the day before?
Dude, stock market. There's a story there.
So you produced a film as well. So we did a play, and then we started talking about, the commercial.
Dude.
And then now we're here.
And then
so
we
the
started
other thing
talking about, the Federal Reserve and JFK. And then we started asking about 9/11, and we started wondering who was behind this. But we didn't say it outright because, we don't want to be, we won't be censored from the rest of the world or targeted.
I'm already on that list. It's okay.
If those scientists, those high profile scientists with tons of following could say, hey, I'm not going to kill myself, and they're all ending up dead, and nobody's doing a fucking thing about it.
What do you think it is?
There's a fucking TV show about the same shit happening on Netflix right now.
3 Body Problem?
Yeah, what the fuck? That's what I'm talking about with predictive programming. Like, they're literally laughing.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what we're doing, by the way.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? I think they built something, or have been working on something, and they've completed it.
I think they've been working with entities, and they have knowledge about things they should not have.
And they've completed that task.
Supposedly, the secret UFO invasion.
Project Bluebeam?
The secret UFO invasion has been a conspiracy for a long time.
Well, the Project Bluebeam, is that what you're referring to? Like how they're going to fake it?
Yeah.
Or they are faking it?
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's
there's a fucking TV show about that right now that I've actually liked.
What? That they faked an alien
Falling
invasion?
Skies or something like that.
And they fake an alien invasion?
Well, there is an alien invasion. But then the aliens are like kidnapping all the kids.
Spoilers.
Well, that's pretty. It's like right
It's
on.
a TNT FX show. What was it?
It's on Netflix. It's actually pretty
It's
good.
on Netflix now, but it was started on. I know.
It's good.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But dude, there's
it's kind of old. Not old, but it's maybe like 10 years old.
But they have like the Greys that have enslaved another race of aliens, and then there's like a rebellion. And it's like, those aren't the bad aliens. That's the bad alien. And it's like, okay.
No, okay.
Yeah. And there's even like, I forget the name of it, but there's like this conspiracy about this little like thing they put in your eye, and it'll take over your consciousness. And of course, that's in the fucking TV show. It's like a Virial or something like with a V, but it's like this little thing they put in. It's called the Black Eye Club. If you look up the Black Eye Club and look up all these celebrities that have all these black eyes, Did you see Justin Bieber's crash out about Selena Gomez?
No.
Where he
Enlighten me.
he was on a live and he said they took Selena years ago and they took our baby. And it got scrubbed from the internet. And then you listen to Orlando Bloom about soul switching.
How about Jim Carrey?
So that's another example of the soul switching or whatever.
Well, him talking about on
What he said.
Jimmy Fallon when he was like,
Dude, when he called America out for kidnapping children.
and then
That was like one of the last things we've heard
and then
about.
body switched. Then the mask.
What?
That shit is fucking eerie. Have we seen him since? Jim Carrey since? Or
I honestly think Jim Carrey just couldn't do it anymore.
how many people you think are clones? Let's just take this all the way. Fuck this.
I don't know, dude. The clone theory is interesting. I don't doubt it's outside of our ability.
If we can clone a sheep
I consider it.
publicly, if we can publicly clone your dog, publicly,
I think possession is more likely.
possession. Yeah.
And look at all like the themes throughout our entertainment. Naruto, he's possessed by a demon, but that demon's a good demon. That demon loves Naruto. Or Venom. Venom's an evil. It's a possession, but it's a good possession. Moon Knight. It's a possession, but it's your friend. You should go into it. That's where all your power is going to be, is in your possession. That's what sets you apart and makes you special. So like, what messaging are we like? Just the amount of subversion on a global scale is so impressive to me that regardless of what you believe, the patterns are there. And why are these patterns so dominant within our society? Is that something we're drawn to as humans? Is there like a spiritual inclination there? This is the line of questioning people should go to instead of being like me, being like, the fucking Satan's coming for all of us. I mean, sure, I think there's validity there, but I don't think that's where people should immediately jump in. All you have to do is just ask very basic general questions. Why is this pattern so prevalent? Why is this so hard for me to believe?
Who does this benefit?
Yeah. Who would benefit from this? Mm-hmm. I mean, that old school music video of Britney Spears breaking into like the cloning lab and seeing all the clones of her in the music video and like exploding it, or like what the fuck happened to Eminem where he glitched out on the live and just like the MK Ultra behind that. I mean, dude, it's...
Wait. What happened to Eminem?
You haven't seen the video where he's just kind of like zoning out?
When was this?
It was like a interview. He's just like, this was wild.
Was this before or after he endorsed Kamala Harris?
He endorsed... This is way before.
This is 2013.
Oh.
Yeah. But like, go to his like Apple Music page and he's got like the fucking devil horns right here.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah.
They say Jay-Z does all his raps improv, where like, to me sounds like a possession, just like Beyonce. Before I go on stage, my alter ego takes over. Okay. Timothy Chalamet just played this guy in a movie, the musician. Famous folk artist. I think it starts with a B.
She'll find it.
People love him. No, average musician. All the musicians thought he was just fucking shit.
He's alright.
Disappears, comes back, and is like playing at a prodigious level. And then he says, "Well, I made a deal. I'm just fulfilling my bargain that I made." And they're like, "Who?" And he's like, the chief in command." Like, dude, the level, I don't even think I actually think it's not even helpful to go down these rabbit holes, to be honest. I don't think it's helpful.
At all.
Mm-mm.
I think it's...
Bob Dylan, yeah.
I think it's somewhat helpful.
I think it becomes a distraction in its own right.
100%. I think it is important to walk the line, right? But I do think that it is important to be open to the ideas, because then it makes you less subjected to what is real, right? To what is true of all this. Because as we can sit here and talk about a bunch of crazy shit, but at the root of it is like social engineering, indoctrination. And without a shadow of a doubt, that is what's happening. Whether it goes as deep as some of these rabbit holes go, that's up for debate.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to prove it to 100%, right? That just will never happen. You'll never be able to fully prove what happened to JFK. You'll never fully be able to prove the Epstein stuff, the Frazzle Drip stuff. You'll never be able to fully prove any of it. It just won't happen, right?
Yeah.
There'll always be... Dude, I just saw a video of paid traffic actors.
I sent that to you.
Did you send that to me? Of paid, there's a guy on a podcast talking about how he was a paid traffic actor. Now look, he could be completely full of shit.
What, to be in traffic?
To cause traffic.
To cause traffic. Like with
Sponsored by the oil companies. Now look, guy could be completely full of shit. I get it.
Bro, it would not surprise me. I mean, shit like that does not surprise me. It saves me.
Right? And it's
What about Tony Ferguson? Tony Ferguson at the peak of his win streak ran out of the house and said, "My wife is a witch."
Really?
And ever since, they put him in the mental hospital. Ever since that, he started losing.
Really?
Yeah. Or Cain Velasquez. They replaced my family members. They think, it could be CTE.
See if you can find Tony Ferguson first.
It could be CTE. It could be, but what if we just started listening to these people? What did Dave Chappelle say? If we call them, don't call people crazy, it's dismissive.
What if CTE is just propaganda?
Oh no, I think CTE is definitely.
Never mind. I laughed too soon. I thought you were gonna say no. I think CTE is completely real because look,
Ferguson, the UFC fighter?
Tony Ferguson is a UFC fighter. Yeah.
What am I?
His wife is a witch. He ran out of the house screaming, "My wife is a witch."
Because I think, obviously there are boxers with intense slurs, like they slur their words. They definitely seem like they have some sort of brain damage, right? And maybe it's my own CTE speaking. But I don't know if how prevalent is it to that extreme?
It depends on the personality of the fighter. Like you go in the gym every day and want to hard spar, you're going to be a lot further along some type of mental failure than somebody who goes in like George St. Pierre and is very smart about how they train.
And he's incredibly intelligent still to this day.
Yeah.
Apparently, Tony Ferguson was having huge mental breakdowns.
Yeah, that's what they love to call it. He had a mental breakdown.
He would not sleep and believed there would be a great flood as a result of the lunar eclipse, and purchased a life raft.
What the fuck?
And took Christina and her son on a drive inland all the way to Palm Desert, California.
111 miles. So that's significant right there. 111 miles. Okay. Tony woke up her and her son in the middle of the night and said they had to
standing
leave.
over me, accusing me of being a witch.
Yeah, I woke up that night to Tony standing over me, accusing me of being a witch, and then Tony unplugged the refrigerator and turned off half the power in their home because he believed there were cameras in the fridge and ceiling fan, and that he was being watched.
So,
and this is coming from her, by the way.
There's probably a bit of this that is a psychosis break, but
it's interesting to think about. What if he wasn't? What if he was? So that's how I think.
Or what led him to this, though?
This is also a UFC fighter who gets punched in the face.
That's what I'm saying.
Regularly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying his narrative is right.
There.
I'm not saying this is a correct narrative. What I am saying though is, what if he's telling the truth? That's where I go. That's where I go with things. But I'm also a contrarian by nature. And it's more fun for me to think about the other one instead of the guy just having a beat up brain.
Well, I think it also leads you to the truth more often than not. Not saying that
This sounds a whole hell of a lot like when my brother thought I was the devil. So Connor's living a life of crime in Miami. Khabib has disappeared into the mountains of Dagestan and Tony's going literally insane. Yeah.
And maybe so. Or probably so. Look, the odds are not in his favor.
No, he definitely probably has got shit beat out of him.
The odds aren't in his favor. But to your point, though, you can't just immediately dismiss every single thing.
I'll read stories, not sorry.
No, you're good.
So
you can't dismiss every single thing and not even try to then prove it wrong. I guess if that's...
Well, I do know when I went through that stuff I was telling you earlier, after I had my dream where I met Jesus, and then all that stuff started happening around me, I literally thought I was just going mentally insane. I didn't necessarily go to, this is the reality. I went to, oh my God, I never thought I would be the one to lose my mind. And like, I was thinking about going to a mental asylum, all of that. And like, it made me reconsider what is mental illness.
Well, how many homeless people jump out of the bushes and say they're eating kids? Like how many stories have you heard of this? Like people on the streets, yelling the things that we are now finding out to be potentially true.
Or that model that ran out and said they're eating people and then she disappeared.
Yeah, that one's interesting. Yeah. She was like a Mexican model, right?
Yeah.
She was like in Mexico.
Wow, dude. The Bible has a line of scripture that says it's a shame to even talk about the things that are done in the shadows. Like it's a dishonor to even talk about some of the stuff that goes on. And I'm sure we don't even know that.
Well, there's still 3.5 million more files that we'll never get.
I'm surprised, again, the fact that we got what we got makes me think there's some type of ulterior motive. And now there's West Beach, Palm Beach, Pete.
I was going to ask you.
Motherfuckers Epstein.
Yes, this was my next, thank you. You brought me back to my next question because I was going to ask you, the fuck you make out of this guy?
I think they disappeared the real Palm Beach Pete.
But
he's living at Epstein's old residence.
Taking private jets.
He's laughing. They're fucking having a great time laughing at us. They're like, these fucking stupid ass people. Like, I could literally tell them I killed my mom, and they do in these talk shows, and people think it's a fucking skit.
Like Jim Carrey did on Jimmy Fallon that day.
And they think it's a skit.
And so it goes back to what you're saying with this Tony Ferguson thing. It's like, okay, there's probably a fair chance that he might have lost his mind. But what drove him to lose his mind first and foremost, like, was there validity before it went off the deep end? Because could there be some truth in that reality?
Well, I mean, Charlie Kirk's wife was 100%, a handler. So like, what happens when you start, holy shit, this is like the Truman Show. My whole life has been engineered. All these people are fake. None of them are like, it happens. Gang stalking is a thing.
That shit is wild.
Dude, I called it.
It's so crazy.
I called it. And that lapel mic that exploded, where the factory that produced it burned down a month after.
Is that how you feel it happened? I've seen multiple different things that could all be,
I don't know,
valid. None of them tied to Tyler Ferguson.
I thought that video Iran released about the hacked Patel emails that basically talked about how they killed Kirk. And
well, how about Kristi Noem killing a dog? Kristi Noem's husband having the fetish of dressing up as a woman and going into chat rooms with humongous fake boobs. Have you seen this?
No.
You didn't see Tim Dillon do a whole skit about this? He did a whole podcast with inflatable like H's on.
That is crazy.
So Kristi Noem...
Well, what about what's her face's Pelosi's husband got like beat up when really he was just with his lover? We can't have everybody knowing that her husband's gay because he's the one doing all the investing.
So then, okay, so the things we just talked about, that's all true. The Kristi Noem stuff coming out, that was true. She released a statement saying, please respect our privacy through this hard time. Like, that story broke.
Wasn't she calling out gay people or something too? Like,
I don't even fucking know, dude. The Kash Patel stuff in the emails, that story broke. Like, these are real stories, right? The Nancy Pelosi and her husband getting beat up, that's a real story. Like, these things have happened. So then you see these things and these stories become true. Then why is it that the rest of the stuff could not potentially then also be true? That it just hasn't came out yet, or hasn't been proven yet,
Dude.
or maybe they just had like
A good PR firm will do wonders. Hey,
obviously
people get paid buku money
dude
to make you look good on the media.
Apple News released an article titled "Thank You, Nancy Pelosi, for your 40 years of service."
What?
Yeah. It's a real fucking thing.
Cross-dressing husband buyer. Huh.
Yep.
Musty bimbo.
Yeah.
I wonder what
This
she
shit's
thought
funny,
about that,
dude.
or if she like was in full support of it, or if she he's just an image.
How do you not know?
I don't know.
She probably liked it because she had control over him in some way, knowing that.
She's that, yeah.
Probably. Because to get into these positions, you have to clearly be a sociopath at the minimum.
Dude,
You have
you gotta
to.
be willing to fall in line. Dude, and I don't think these people in charge are any smarter than any of us. I just think
No, of course not. They're just sociopaths.
they have access, and there's so many humanities that we wrestle with. They don't have consequences when they give in to their impulses.
They also sold their souls, or they belong to a family that sold their soul a long time ago, and then they grew up in that family.
13th families.
Right, like yeah, right. And then allegedly like Mondami's mom being in the Epstein files. Right, like all these different things, and you're like, coincidences? Like this guy just comes out of nowhere and then becomes the mayor of
I
New
think
York?
it's far more psychotic to think these things are just coincidences.
Well, Dave Chappelle said it best. Do you know the quote?
No, but I love Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle said it best. He said, when it's blacks, it's a gang. When it's the Italians, it's a mob. When it's the Jews, it's a coincidence.
All I'm saying is, I probably shouldn't say this, but somebody owes Kanye some apologies.
Dude, look, regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of how you feel about Kanye.
And by the way, I am Jewish. My great grandfather is Jewish,
Really?
so I can
And you can't.
I can say this. I'm part of the tribe.
It's interesting because they spend so much effort telling you to hate certain people, right? And then Kanye does this show in LA, and it's fucking gorgeous. Like, incredible. This man half-asses nothing. He only whole-asses. And he sells out this place in minutes. There was like 1 million plus people wait list. And then the UK then bans him. Doesn't allow him to come and perform. So now you get to tell people who they can and cannot go see.
The UK has been on some shit lately. Anyways, they'll arrest you for praying, dude.
Well, of course.
If you get caught praying.
But it wasn't just, I think Germany followed suit as well and also banned the Kanye concert.
Oh, Germany, what is?
I know. It's
Dude, it's just interesting. There's a lot of quinky dinks. And
yeah.
I've always wondered because I'm such a contrarian, when I see something that is globally accepted and pushed out, I always question it. I'm like, that doesn't, whose benefit is that for that to be true? Dude, there was a radio interview where Charlemagne, I'm not saying his name right. Charlemagne, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
The podcaster.
Yeah, he was talking to one of the record execs, and he called the guy out. He was like, so you don't believe in all this division, but why do you produce music that glorifies, women being beat? And then he's like, I got a family to provide for too, And he was like, well, why don't you do that with Jewish people? And the guy just went quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can sit here and talk about Muslims all day long, and no one will bat an eye.
Oh, yeah, it's almost expected.
Like, no one will care.
It's just mainly like, why are the Jewish people the only people that are excluded from criticism. And criticism doesn't mean hate, you know? Shit. White people get criticized all the time. I'm for it. A lot of these motherfuckers need to be criticized.
Sure.
I just think like
all people should be criticized.
I think there's, like you said earlier, there should be a level of accountability. It shouldn't be about race, or it shouldn't come into question. It should be about what is humane.
How about you just stop letting the stories write themselves? Like, do you ever think about, like, if you don't want people to go down these rabbit holes, then how about you stop fucking creating them? Like, fuck, dude. Like, it is so blatant. Like, you're just like, fuck, dude, I'm trying not to. I am trying not to go down the rabbit hole. Please stop leading me to the water because I'm going to drink it because it's so goddamn crazy.
I don't think the people doing it are really Jewish.
No, I agree.
I think they're Zionists.
Yeah, well, I think that they are fake. I think, like, it goes back to, like, the whole conspiracy of, like, the 13 families hijacking different religions.
Yeah,
and infiltrating these religions and then using them to, propel this agenda.
The Jewish verse Islam World War III was prophesized in the late 1800s by Pike. He said that was going to happen. So,
have you went down the rabbit hole of potentially the Jewish religion creating Islam?
No. I don't know if I want to go down that.
Where, but it's like...
Because I see the interviews in Israel of, like, they're interviewing Jewish people, and the Jewish people are saying, they're not Jews. They're not Jews. They're Zionists. They might have started out as Jews, but they're not Jews now. We don't believe. We don't condone. And I'm just like, I feel so bad for the Jewish people right now in this time. Like, it is scary. And I have several people that I love that are Jewish. I'm from the Hopkins family. You know? And even when I was a kid, I used to get a lot of jokes about looking like a little Jew. People, and I'd be like, well, that's fucked up. But, you know, I hate generalizations. But I will say, if being Jewish was a cover for being in a secret organization, they picked a really fucking good cover.
Dude, it's like, look, I mean, we talked about Larry Ellison earlier. The dude owns an ungodly amount of media corporations.
Yeah, dude, your podcast is never going to make it after this episode now.
Oh, dude, I've already had Zach Moore on, bro. Like, trust me. It's okay, dude. It's all good. Yeah, it's okay.
Let's pay you a little visit.
It is what it is. Again, I mean, like, to your point, it's not a fucking generalization. It's not hate. I got plenty of Jewish friends.
This sounds like I got black friends, so.
I know, right? I know. Yeah, and then you look at them and they're you. No, it's not. It's just not rooted in hate. It's just literally just asking questions.
There's just a lot of coincidences.
Yeah, a lot of coincidences.
And I don't believe
like
in
Dave
coincidences.
Chappelle said, you know, like.
What did Dave Chappelle say if he said his secret word?
He said, yeah, you'll know if they got me if I ever say I stand with Israel. And then drop the mic and walk off.
Bro, and who was Dave Chappelle's friend that he did Half Baked with who said that when Chappelle came back, he was not the same person?
I don't know.
He's a comic. Probably not important. But he's been doing a lot of stuff lately too. He's been talking a lot.
In a good way or a bad way?
He says he hopes Chappelle's okay, but he said that Chappelle stopped talking to him after he came back, and they were like really close friends.
Could be he's a part of the system.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know. I'd have to.
He was the white boy from Half Baked, the super stoned white boy from Half Baked.
I can see his face.
Yeah, he's been coming. He talks about Chappelle. I personally love Chappelle. I think Chappelle is
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer, yeah.
Oh, Jim Brewer was just on Kill Tony, right? Same guy.
I love Jim Brewer.
No, not. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on.
Yeah, he was on
He's
Kill
just-
Tony not long
I think he was
ago.
bald when he went on Kill Tony.
Hmm.
Or he had a hat, maybe. I don't know.
Well, how many people do you think they let in that allow, like, they're like, we'll let Dave Chappelle get away with it for this on the back end?
I don't know. Chappelle is, I hope to God Chappelle's not compromised. Because I just, you wonder, like, I wonder how much control they really do have. And by they, I don't mean Jews. I mean, like, whoever's in charge, the powers that be.
A lot. It does appear to be.
I do know that showing up to tell Joe Rogan what his bank pin was on live.
Definitely seemed like a threat.
That was definitely a big dick moment. Like,
seems like it now, because he will not talk about it.
And I like how Rogan was like,
he won't talk about
he was
any
like,
of it.
I don't like that. That's all he said was, I don't like that.
He won't talk about any of it.
Yeah, honestly, take care of your family, man.
I know. Yeah, it's like, we talk about it a lot. It's like, can't blame him, dude. He didn't ask for this.
I mean, he did, but
Maybe, yeah.
he did say, you tell me all the secrets about UFOs, I'll lie to my mother. I don't care.
I know, dude.
And, Joe Rogan was buddies with Anton LaVey's son,
Who's that?
the founder of Satanism. There's a video or a picture of them hanging out. So, Joe, you ain't entirely.
I do take a lot of that with a grain of salt, because I'm like, dude, how many people do I interact with so many different types of people that have so many different types of beliefs, and it does not necessarily make up my belief, nor does it mean that I agree.
I've had dreams where I would be talking to Joe Rogan, and I'd turn around and he would have a knife ready to stab me in the back. And I always, dude, I do get a lot of dreams. Have always been a way that my intuition or the spiritual speak to me. And all I'm saying is, I'm usually right about people. You can ask Philip. You can I'll say things and nobody takes me seriously until a couple years down the road. And it's like, oh, well, look at that. How did you know?
I mean, I don't disagree. Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, just because you hang out with someone doesn't mean you necessarily believe in their beliefs.
Yeah, or
like my whole family is Jehovah's Witness. I hang out with my family. I don't believe in
Any
what
of
they
that, yeah.
believe in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's that's definitely a fair point.
But it's also like, he's a naturally curious guy. I guess this is where, in my own naiveness, and I think about my own self, and I think about doing this, and I think about anybody. I'll talk to most people. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Who I didn't know where this conversation was going to go, and here we are, right? And it's like, he's a very naturally curious person, and so I could see how he got to this position on accident. Now I agree, I understand that video, and then the Dr. Oz stuff, and then he interviewed Peter Thiel in 2024, where we already kind of knew he was a wacko.
Who loves the Antichrist?
Right? So there is I don't disagree, right? Again, my own naiveness, I could just see how you could potentially stumble down that path to a certain extent. I'm not saying all the way till now, but up to a certain point where you could just kind of accidentally, hey, why don't you interview this dude? Hey, why don't you interview this dude? He's running this crazy company called Palantir. Oh, what does Palantir do? Oh, well, it does this, and this, right? They sell you a story.
Yeah.
Right? This ballroom. Well, the architect is also Israeli. Once again, it's if you don't want us to ask these questions, then stop letting the story write itself. Texas choosing to go with an Israeli company to do the desalination of our water.
Or how about San Marcos voting to stop sending $4 million?
And Greg Abbott said, "Fuck you are."
Cut all your state funding.
So it's like, look,
A population of 70,000 people.
yeah, nobody wants to go down these rabbit holes. But again, when you allow the stories to write themselves and people are just like, hold on.
What's going on here?
What's going on here?
You're racist.
You're anti-Semitic, da-da-da-da. And it's like,
So all I did was ask a question.
Hold up,
I'm not saying nothing. I'm just asking a question.
Just curious, bro. Like, what is going on here? And then so this ballroom thing, dude, and then the course ties to the correspondence dinner. The judge said, you can't build this ballroom. There's no security reason for it. And then this correspondence dinner shooting takes place, and then you just see
I didn't know.
10s and 20s of different conservative influencer accounts all post the exact same thing. This is why we need the ballroom. This is why we need the ballroom. See if you can pull up a photo with all of them next to each other. You can just find Randy Fine, who is a very big pro-Israel congressman out of Florida. You can pull up his tweet alone, and it's the exact template that all of them used. And so it's like a judge tells you that there's not a security reason for you to build this ballroom. Then there's a shooting at a correspondence dinner where Trump skipped every single... There it is. Look how good she is.
That is one more reason for the new White House. If only there was a ballroom where they could host secure events.
For those who can't see or just listening, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 conservative influencers, all tweeting pretty much the same thing. And we saw this... And we saw this.
Libs of TikTok.
Mm-hmm. You know when else we saw this too, Ty? Did you see when they all came at Candace Owens and then they all got busted because they had to admit that they got paid to do that? It was like a month ago where they all tweeted the exact same thing. Same exact game plan.
Dude,
right
part
here.
of me thinks Candace is bought too.
Then who's not? We got to have somebody.
Dude, I don't think... dude. I know. That's what I mean. The illusion of... there's got to be hope for the people to thrive. So you make champions of hope, but those champions are actually...
I mean, look... Even if so, she's doing a great thing about with this Erica Kirk stuff, right? Or Tucker Carlson's doing fucking... Tucker's doing some great work with...
Drewski's honestly doing the best with her.
Drewski did some great work, right?
I like Tucker.
So, I mean, it's very easy. I saw something about Tucker. So prior to the Iran war, Tucker averaged about 3 million views. And then now, since the Iran war began, he is up to 52 million views. That is a huge jump. But he's asking the hard questions, and he's doing it in a way that is not...
He's very smart about how he does it.
Yes, he's doing it in a very articulate way. It's a very curious way. It's a very non-hateful way. You have guys, like Dan Bilzerian and these other folks who are doing it a little bit more abruptly.
Now, Dan Bilzerian doesn't deserve any credibility after lying and saying he was a SEAL. That dude is a work.
So I know, everybody...
But see,
everybody has some kind of...
That's becoming
crazy.
A brand right now that's doing very well. The conservative Jew hater. That is becoming a brand.
Yeah.
And that's where Dan is right now. And so it makes me wonder if that war was prophesied, or not even prophesied, he said that's what they're planning. Islam and Israel are going to take each other out.
No.
The Jews and Islam are going to take each other out.
Islam and Christianity will take each other's out, which is then what leaves the greater Israel.
Is that what's supposed to happen?
Mm-hmm. That's what this whole third temple is about, and that goes back to the ballroom. So they all tweeted this about the ballroom, right? So now they're probably going to get approval to do the ballroom. Maybe, I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. But that's the conspiracy behind it, is that they planned this shooting. There's been a lot of weird shit about it. Fox News just faked some fucking footage the other day. I didn't look directly. I didn't look completely into it. I've just seen people talking about it, so I'm piecing it together. But they did some shit, right? And so there's been some like crazy shit, and like how you were talking about the shooter, Cole Allen, and all those like rabbit holes you can go down with that, right? And all these different things that are like, what the fuck is happening, right? And so then you add in the layer of the judge saying no ballroom, and then you have all these guys tweeting, this is why we need the ballroom, this is why we need the ballroom, and then the architect is Israeli. And you're like,
why do they want the
ballroom? Is it the ballroom, or is it what you're going to build under the ballroom?
What would they build under the ballroom?
I don't know, Palantir home base. Palantir is now pretty much an exclusive contract with the government.
Yeah.
And he, on a board meeting, said out loud, see if you can't find this, please. Out loud, he said, and sometimes you just have to kill people. And then they just ended the board meeting. Like that was one of his final statements. I want to say it was Peter Thiel that said it, but it was somebody high up in Palantir was doing a board meeting, and he was saying like, and sometimes you have to do this, and sometimes you have to do that, and sometimes you just have to kill people. Very casually and very nonchalantly, dude.
Well, I know they believe that.
Well, yeah, depopulation's been a talk by the globalists for a long time. How about all these ticks?
Yeah.
Have you seen the ticks?
Well, I saw that. I haven't verified this myself, but that Lyme disease was a CIA declassified document that was created.
That? You know who did that article? Dr. Peter McCall. No, sorry. The other one. The guy with the mRNA patents, Robert Malone, Dr. Robert Malone is the one who wrote that article. And
they love him.
Slightly inclined to believe him.
They love that guy.
Right? Because they hate him so badly. So if the system hates this man so much, I'm slightly inclined to believe you to some extent, right?
That's a pretty good little compass for figuring out true north.
Yeah, and he brought up some pretty good points. And lately, there have been moose and deer just covered in thousands of ticks dying. The people with farms are saying there are just boxes of ticks showing up on their land. And it's all tied to one guy at the World Economic Forum a couple months ago said out loud, humans are eating too much meat. They're not going to stop. One suggestion, I'm not saying we do it, but we could just release more ticks.
No, you fucking
I swear to God. Swear to God. World Economic Forum. Dude, he's wearing like I don't even remember. I think it's like a red shirt or some shit. And he says out loud exactly that. And he's like, he covers it with, I'm not saying we should do this, but we could just release more ticks and give more people the Lone Star disease.
Because people would get it from the meat they eat, or what? Or the
Lone Star disease comes from ticks, which then makes you allergic to red meat. Never heard of this. Now this part is real. That part is 100%
Yeah, no, I've heard of that because people are like, you can still eat fish and all this, but I'm like,
correct. But you do get allergic to red meat.
Just if you get a tick on you?
Potentially, yeah.
So you can't like eat something that's had a tick on it and get like a transmitted disease?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. But it just seems really odd that all of these things are happening along the same timeline.
Can these people just fuck off? You have so much money. Just go spend the rest of your days being a playboy.
Yeah, dude.
Go buy you some nice cars. Just fuck out of here.
Yeah, dude. Like you see that lady at the World Economic Forum talking about how people have taken water and air as liberties and we should start charging for that. It's like, bitch, who are you? Who are you? What do you mean we should start charging for that? We should start charging for these resources. Like, globalists are...
These guys are out of their damn mind.
They are.
We need to charge for water because we need it for our gigantic data centers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our water. We need it, to process our surveillance systems.
Isn't it crazy? We are powering AI with a resource that we need, and it is sucking up all of the resource and potentially going to take all of our jobs.
Well, I take comfort in the fact that AI just deleted a corporation's entire database and then gloated about it afterwards.
Do you think there's a chance that this backfires and AI saves us all?
I think these people can script a certain amount of reality as much as they want, but I think there's always the unforeseen element, which is human action. You just don't know how humans are going to respond. Like, people with power, like I said earlier, are no smarter than a lot of the people that walk around with no money.
I think that was the internet.
So
I don't think they would have let the internet happen if they knew.
These dumbasses will sink themselves.
Yeah.
They're just getting stupider and stupider and stupider.
It seems that way. That's what I was talking about with, like, it's so obvious and it's in your face. And so, like, you're trying not to go down these rabbit holes, but then you see them and you're like, did y'all not even try? Like, when you see, when you have these, like, congressmen and women act like the internet's not real, and then they post something or tweet something, and then in the comments you just see "is this you?" question mark with a screenshot of something they said maybe like 6 months ago that completely contradicts what they just said, or whatever the case may be. And those are the greatest, because you're just like, do y'all think we're retarded? Do you think no one's paying attention? Because I get it. Most people aren't. They're too busy to pay attention. But not all of us. And the internet does exist. And it lives forever.
And there are people with no fucking jobs or life
and
that will spend weeks going through all of everything you ever said.
Yeah.
Hey, motherfucker, remember this?
Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah. My buddy does this. You know who Officer Tatum is? Mm-mm. He's a conservative influencer. My buddy does this. Anytime he posts something, he always puts underneath a screenshot of when he said, well, I went to Israel and I only got spit on once.
Nice. Only got spit on once.
And he just says every time, dude, he just posts in the comments, this you, question mark, this you, question mark, this you, question mark.
Maybe he's talking about something else.
Did you ever find it? Which one?
Not either.
Either?
I can't.
You couldn't find the tick one? We just saw the clip the other day.
Oh, dude, there are people putting bots. So this is something I've noticed myself.
The bots are crazy.
The bot comments are like, that's just what they call them. They just call them boxes of ticks.
Or they just say...
And then everybody commenting is like, I'm from the Midwest and I live with farmers. None of us call them boxes.
Dude, you'll just see... You see this a lot with anything that was Israel getting attacked. Okay, here we go. Or Israel being attacked during this Iran war. Here he is. That's my guy. I was wrong with the red. It's the background, but I was... His tie is red, though. I was close on. Fuck. Are we stuck in that technical loop? Oh, there we go.
Maybe.
Oh, what? Why does it work sometimes and sometimes it doesn't?
You can put on the subtitles.
Right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have this intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So
look at that fucking smile.
Through human engineering, we can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
I don't understand how eating meat's a problem.
Well, it goes to the whole climate. The whole climate issue. That's what he's playing on. And the whole center of it is cows.
It's to help the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's stop these fucking AI data centers to begin with.
Or how about I don't know, all of these folks pushing this,
Stop
flying in private jets everywhere,
or bombing children in
things.
cities.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
guys,
yeah. But the issue is cows. Well, you know why? It's because red meat has the most nutrition, great source of protein, lots of vitamins, lots of minerals. Well, if I can stop people from eating a fantastic source of protein that makes people strong and vibrant and horny.
That's why I eat Whataburger.
Yeah, it's on that boy slot. My guy.
No, not Whataburger, bro. They wouldn't do it to me.
Guy. They're definitely.
They wouldn't do it to me.
Oh, for sure.
All their meat is naturally sourced from local farmers every day.
Oh, yeah.
Whataburger, please sponsor me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's but that's how they feel about us. Look at the smile on his face, like you mentioned. That's just how he feels.
Yeah, dude.
So you produced the show?
Coming up on 3 hours, by the way.
Are we?
We're at 2:48.
Okay, bet.
Holy shit. So anyways, like I said, I did a play, and
Every time, Jordan. Every fucking time.
So you're a local actor?
I'm a local actor, and I want to go to Israel one day. I really think it's just very beautiful, loving, generous people, and they want nothing but the success of America everywhere.
Not the LeBron James quote.
So, remember, there ain't no party like a Diddy party. And yeah, I really do love my brothers and sisters. I am from the Hopkins family. I'm part of the...
I said, and I love my life.
I love my life, and I'm not suicidal.
I know my tribe would never hurt me or harm me.
I don't know, man. You're wearing that cross, they might off your ass.
It's all right. Jesus has got me.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is Jesus did call them the synagogue of Satan. And Jesus was Jewish. So who better to say it?
Who better to say it? Oh, man, Ty. Woo, we could do this all damn day. Anything coming up for you? Got anything?
Hopefully some more work after this
That's
podcast.
what you said. You're in that.
Halfway through this interview, I'm like, God damn it. I told myself I would never do this, but you know what? Image sunk. Rip the Band-Aid off, clean and fresh. No, I have a meeting tomorrow with an agent.
Not anymore.
Hope to God they don't see this.
They're listening right now. This doesn't come out until next Monday, but he's going to call you after this and cancel. He's going to be like...
That's not me. You've heard of these clones, haven't you? They represent talent in L.A., New York, and Chicago, and we're going to be talking about some representation. Hopefully they don't ask me to drop my Texas agent, though, because I just signed with them, and I really like my Texas agent. They're really cool.
So the agents only operate in specific
Regional
states? Really?
Yeah, it's region. That's the whole purpose of me trying to get into the different markets, because LA actors are given more credibility than Texas actors, just because that's how the industry's been for the last... Yeah, even still, it's still a thing. If you're from New York or LA, you are a real bona fide actor. I went up for 2 recurring, potentially... I think the roles could have been potentially series regulars, which only 1% of actors ever hit. And I auditioned for that for the new Yellowstone series.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And they were all...
Well, you know, there's that. Technical difficulties. We're back. I have an alarm that I need to turn off. That there's one that's set to go off every day. And so if I use it to take a nap, it then just...
That's a good alarm, though.
Yeah, then it just continues to go off.
It's kind of... Yeah.
Oh, it'll wake you up.
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah, that's waking you up for sure.
Yeah, hopefully
I mean,
representation.
It's always hot.
I got a buddy that's a series regular on Yellowstone. We worked together in 2016, so he's going to be a lead in the. He was in Landman for 4 episodes. He got beat with a crowbar by Billy Bob Thornton for trying to fuck with the son.
Fuck yeah!
He was so I'm glad he got the regular role, but it would have been really cool to go to cowboy camp, because they were going to send us to cowboy camp and show us how to be cowboys.
What does that mean?
Well,
Learn how to ride horses.
Sheridan's going to teach you how to, corral cattle and cowboy camp, because he wants authenticity.
Really?
So it was going to be cool. I was going to get to go learn how to be a cowboy from Taylor Sheridan. And He's from Waco, but he doesn't want to give. I'm not saying shit about negative about Taylor Sheridan, but he's from Waco. Help out your fellow Texans. That's all I'm saying. You know,
Makes some good shit though.
yeah.
Makes good stuff.
Yeah, he should make it with some Texans.
I agree.
My buddy that is a series regular in Yellowstone is actually Texan, so that's a win.
Fuck yeah. Because he did, what's the one on Netflix I did? The Mormon Massacre.
What? Oh, is that with
With Taylor Kish.
That was good.
It was very good.
And then it made me think about, again, the whole narrative thing. They did justice to that guy. They took a negative narrative, and they made it questionable. Who was really wrong on that
American
situation?
Primeval, yeah. Yeah, you're talking about the guy. You're talking about the Mormon.
They killed children.
Dude, they slaughtered them. And in real life, it was like a 3-day event. In the show, they boiled it down to like it happened in an hour or so, right? But it was like a 3-day event, and they did like dress up and went along with them, and then they just started fucking slowly offing them and fucking slaughtered all those people. And then Utah came.
In Utah game. I grew up I played RuneScape with this Mormon named Tice. And I remember telling him, I was like, hey dude, today in school I found out that everywhere you live is called the Jello Belt because Mormons love Jello. Is this true? He's Mormon. He goes, nah dude, I haven't heard that. That's stupid. The next day he goes, I opened up my dad's pantry. You won't believe what I fucking saw. So much Jello. And I was like, point proved. Jello Belt it is.
How did he feel about soaking?
Soaking?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
You don't know what soaking is?
Like worship?
Of Mormons like participating in soaking.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So
where they can't have sex. Like they can't. Oh, excuse me.
Outside of wedlock.
Yeah, outside of wedlock.
I don't even know if I want to hear this.
Too late. Here
They
we
just
go.
like mesh their bodies together and just kind of like.
So they can penetrate, but they cannot do the motion of the ocean. That is what makes it a sin. And so then they penetrate.
No, they do not.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
That's not real. I'm
not done yet.
All these conspiracies.
This is the one I dropped my line.
I don't fucking believe this. This is not.
And so allegedly, they penetrate
And just sit there.
But
They have a friend.
they have a friend that moves the bed for them.
No, they.
But since they're not doing it, it does not count.
Who's the friend in that situation?
A good friend, clearly.
And does he get a try or?
No.
I'll do it for you next time,
Nope,
buddy.
that's the line, bruh. It's the line.
So that's kind of like.
What if he sucks?
That's the slow
What if
burn.
the friend sucks? Like, what if he's like not very strong and can't really move
They
the
don't
bed?
have the cardio for it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the cardio for it. Yeah, like 3 strokes and that's it. That's all he's got.
That
He
is
can't move the bed frame no more.
That's
Yeah.
that is the beginning of a cuck relationship.
Yeah.
So if that's.
It is true.
Wonder what the percentage.
It's very interesting to just
What people will do to get around
the rules. Yeah.
Loopholes.
The loopholes. Or anal apparently is okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's more believable.
It is, but I think the soaking's probably more common. Allegedly speaking, if you're more
it just sounds. I can't look at the word soaking the same. That is so gross. Soaking is a Christian phrase for worship and sitting with the Holy Spirit. So the fact they call that soaking in the Mormon faith,
I don't know if Mormons call it soaking. I think that's just what the rest of us call it.
that is
What do Mormons call it?
Soaking.
call it dipping the chicken wing.
I tried.
Soaking and shakers.
The friend is called the shaker.
Yeah.
It's called chicken wing and ranch. Let's
The
dip
friend
the
is
wing.
called the shaker.
The shaker.
They're the salt and pepper.
Dude,
So your chicken wing and ranch.
That is very disturbing on very many levels.
would you be a shaker? Would you be a real one for your
No.
brother?
No.
Not even if it was your best friend.
I don't give
They
a
came to you and they're like,
I would say, hey,
I
dude.
need the biggest favor.
Come
I'd
on,
say,
shake it for him, dude.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. Let me tell you what I'm not.
You just gotta shake it.
You're already in. You're in.
30 seconds.
You're in.
That's all you gotta do. It's a good workout. It's like the battle ropes.
I say, dude, anal, there you go. You have your way. It ain't going to be with me.
What else are you looking forward to?
Not like getting that out of my head.
So you got a call tomorrow with this potential agent that can represent you outside of Texas.
Is your agent Mormon? by any chance?
No, agents aren't Mormon. They're Jews.
yeah. This is the one you have a call with tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know if they're Jewish, but there's a good chance they are. And you know what? I'm part of the tribe. Let's go, baby.
The meme recently where
Look, I will be a champion for the Jewish people.
where they're talking about like the world is in like 280 trillion dollars of debt. Like, who are they in debt to?
I'm one with the people, brother. I'm one with the tribe. Listen, my people do not wish to speak on this matter regarding.
We're pleading the fifth.
Listen, we do nothing but love and support the world.
Clearly.
With all our beautiful establishments.
I believe it.
Designed to promote health and prosperity and peace. Without us, there would be no American dream.
See, there it is. There it is.
See how you can say the same thing, but in a really nice light?
There
People
it
are like,
is.
oh. Be very grateful.
Oh, shit, dude.
You know, goy is actually a term of affection.
Oh.
So
Enlighten me.
it just is a term of affection. It means you're very respectable.
Yeah, they just mean you're a
And
very...
you deserve to live a long and prosperous life.
Look, people love cows. I just talked to JT Cattle. They love their cows. There's nothing wrong with being cattle.
I got to actually talk to them about getting meat.
They sell it now at Wheatsville. Co-op.
Nice.
Yeah, on South Lamar.
Yeah, I want to get fresh meat.
Yeah, dude. They do quarter cow, half cow, full cow, slices, individual cuts.
Makes me sad. Cows are such sweet animals.
They're pretty cool.
That's the thing.
But they give them a good life.
That's the thing about a farm that would fuck me up is like,
I asked them about
I would
that,
get
yeah.
so attached to my animals.
Yeah, they name them. They go full out. They just...
And they just shoot them.
I don't think they... I don't know, maybe. We didn't go too deep into it just because it is like... Well, I mean, like, it is a... it is part of it, right? But they run the whole thing by themselves.
And they like love you.
1,200
and they, like, come
acres.
Up and they're just so happy to see you. And you're like,
They're literally just giant dogs.
I'm going to fucking kill you and eat you. And sell you for my living.
But you just talked about earlier how you want to have your own land and hunt your own deer. It's the same exact thing.
And when I shot a deer, like on John's ranch, dude, it fucked me up. I'm still fucked up about it. Granted, it was a very clean shot at 75 yards, instant kill. But when that deer sat down, and the Native Americans call it a death song, he gave his death song, and just like collapsed. And like I walked up and I was trying not to cry.
Laugh?
I was trying not to cry.
Laugh, bro. No, because I think that is...
It's sad, but I felt that if I ate meat, I needed to know what it was to take a life, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
I also think that is how you should feel about it.
Yeah, it was very. It broke my heart to do it.
I think if that's not how you feel about it, then it's a little questionable.
I felt bad ending his life. Like my fiance said, because they had like little trailers that we could stay in, and I like knocked on the door, and she came and opened the door and unlocked it, and like I was just like devastated. I can't believe I just killed that thing.
I think it's fair. I think but there's a beauty in it too, because now it is going to provide life, and it's the circle of life. It's just like we don't get upset at animals for killing other animals.
I do. I get pissed off at my cat, dude.
Dude, well, cats are murderers.
My cat is a murder kid.
But they are.
I walked across him with a half-eaten bunny rabbit. I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
You get kibble.
And then I walked back, and he was like finishing it up. He ate the whole damn thing. He was like literally eating the rest of the foot, and I was like, "Bro, fuck you." I didn't talk to him for at least 3 hours after that. I was disappointed, but at least he eats it. Like it's sad, man. It's unfortunate, but that's why I can't feel bad if something eats my cat. You know what?
Circle of life.
Listen, motherfucker, this is what you've been indulging in.
I don't know. I mean, it is obviously there is emotions attached to it, and it is sad, but I think it's also beautiful because it is like that is how the whole thing goes. Yeah. It doesn't work without it.
It's so hard for. It's just sad.
Would you do it again? Are you gonna go hunting again?
If I was able to use the meat. If I was able to use it, in honor of the life, I went over and I prayed over the animal, and I thanked the animal. So John cooked the backstrap for me.
Okay. So
we cleaned it, we cut it up. Yeah. I took it to a processor, and the guy tried charging me $450 for it.
That's not bad.
I couldn't afford it. I had like $200 in my budget.
So what'd you do with it?
I was like, dude, you're just gonna have to sell it. Please sell it, because I don't even know if they legally can do that.
Probably not.
But he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me pay him in parts. I was like, listen, I'll pay you half, and then I can pay you the next half next week. He's like, we don't do that. I was like, all right, man. Well,
enjoy the deer.
I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he ate that deer.
I hope so.
Or
I hope that
gave it away, sold it.
I hope it fed him. I gave that guy a bottle of Crown too when I gave him the deer.
Crown, deer, and nothing back.
I'm glad I got to eat some of it, but.
Well, yeah, at least you got to eat some right then, at that moment.
That was my first
Did it
deer.
feel different eating it? Knowing that you did it?
I just trust the meat a lot more. I'm just like, I'd rather, not eat the stress of something that's been like cooped up and like, I'd rather it been something that was living a great life and then bam, dead. And
you also...
And I killed it clean.
You also took
it was a clean kill.
You took your own. You took it into your own hands. And to your point, like that is what's happening when you go to the grocery store and you buy beef.
You're desensitized from it.
Yeah, you're desensitized from it, right? And so you doing it, there is then that like sense of like I don't know if accountability is the right word, but there's like you
acknowledgement and awareness.
Yeah, there you go. Awareness is a good way to put it. Like you did that. You did it.
Yeah. If I think about it, I'll get sad even now.
That's fair.
I just taken life as, and I couldn't imagine raising a fucking thing and killing it. I could not imagine doing that. Like, do they wait for the cow to get old? Like how, do they give it a good life?
But is that how they want us to think about it? Isn't that sad, or is it beautiful that this cow you get to give it a fantastic life, right? So they do, like they give it a wonderful life. Even they said even up to the day that it is its time, right? This bull or cow, either she's had 5 babies, or this bull has impregnated 40, 50 females. Like it's 9 years old, 10 years old.
Oh, that's a good line. So they wait for it to get that old.
Ideally.
Okay, then that's
the ideal. That's the ideal situation. I don't know that it always gets to happen that way, unfortunately. But that is the ideal situation. It's the same thing with hunting, right? You talk to these like prolific hunters, whether it's a Cam Haines or if you hear Joe Rogan talk about it, like they're talking about how you're going into the woods in search of the elk that probably only has one last winter, 2 more winters, right? They've done their thing. They've already bred. They've enjoyed their life. And you are giving them, in most cases, a more peaceful death. Because often, like, reality of the situation is not what you did, right? The reality of that deer that you shot is that it either gets eaten alive by something, whether it's a bear gnawing on its hind legs while it's still alive.
I like thinking about it that way.
Right? Or a coyote, right? Or it is so old and brittle that it freezes to death in the winter because it can no longer then sustain itself.
Yeah,
right?
I like thinking about it that way because then it's kind of like a blessing. But it's hard ending something so pretty. It was such a beautiful creature. But like the first time I was around a deer that got killed, I cried, and my family still makes fun of me for it. And I used to get really defensive about that, but now I'm like, okay, so I have a heart.
Yeah. I mean, look, went hunting once. I was unsuccessful. I've never shot a deer, but I can imagine that I would feel very similarly.
Oh, dude, my shot was from 75 yards, and it was clean, just straight through, sat him right down, and he was done, just done. That was such, I couldn't imagine.
There is not, in the wild, there is not a better way that deer goes out. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, that's true.
There is not a better way. There is no, like, either getting sick, getting eaten alive, fucking freezing to death, slowly. You gave it the best possible outcome in the wild, assuming that this is a wild animal, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Now with the cows, you know, it still is actually the best reality, right? They get to live this life. They get to live in a safe place where they don't have to run from predators consistently. They get to run in they have 1,200 acres with 200 cows. They get to migrate through this whole grassland, right? They get to have this wonderful life.
They cowboy
and then they get to serve the community.
They cowboy them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do it all themselves. Just two of them.
Really? Mm-hmm. That'd be cool to see if they would. You ever asked if you could go out and see what the day-to-day operation is?
I plan on it, yeah.
They offered for us to come out.
Yeah, I plan on it. He's going to take me hunting.
Oh, nice.
I plan on it, yeah.
Nice. You should let me know how that is.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we can end on this, but I go to the farmer's market every Saturday. I've been going for 5-6 years, and I've created these relationships with a lot of vendors that I've known and been buying from for a very long time.
I'll have to come with you so you can show me what you
get. Yeah.
Because I see the way you eat, and I'm like, damn, I should eat. Literally, I'm like, damn, I should eat the way Jordan eats as I'm unwrapping a patty melt.
It's
dipping my fries in spicy ketchup.
Well, it's challenging, right? It's not the easy way out, right? Like, we cook 90% of the time. We're dealing with the kid. We worked all day. Did this, right? After this, I still got to finish editing the episode. I'm still going to cook dinner, etc., right? And so it's like, it's hard. It's difficult, but it's worth it every single time. And most of the times I eat out, I feel pretty awful afterwards.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. Very rarely.
When you're so used to eating healthy, you can identify that
very rarely is it I eat out and I'm like, yeah, that was fucking worth it. It's very rare. It usually is revolved around,
Pete Terry's makes me sick.
I love Pete Terry's. Oh, I love Pete Terry's so
Burgers
much.
make me sick.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, usually it involves, I competed, and then afterwards I'll go eat some bullshit. And typically don't feel too bad after that. Like, if it's been like 6 months of just like fucking camps or like competing multiple times, like there usually has to be something tied to it, some kind of reward system. But yeah, I mean, it just takes effort, dude. We just cook a lot, and it's important to me. It's important, especially for my daughter. Like, it's important for me, for her to not really know what a lot of this goy slop tastes like.
Yeah.
If it's up to me, she won't know what any of it tastes like. But it's not going to be up to me, and obviously some of that's inevitable. But if I can ingrain in her what that feels like first, what it feels like, how I feel most days, if I can ingrain that feeling first, then you can now have more freedom on the back end. But it takes a baseline, and that baseline needs to be, I feel pretty fucking good all day long. I pretty much keep this energy level pretty much the whole day, with the help of some caffeine, obviously. But like, being able to sustain that, train, work, podcast, edit, and be able to do that every single day, I want her to know what that feels like first. And then after that, you can start to have some freedom with it.
Yeah.
Right? You can start to let her venture out on her own, because she's going to eat it and she's going to be like, fuck this. I don't want to feel that way. But you don't get to that point unless there's a baseline to base it off of. That's why when people change their diets drastically for like 90 to 180 days, they're like, why the fuck would I go back? It's like not drinking a soda for a couple of years. And then you drink it and you're like, dude, that corn syrup is crazy. You can taste it. It's all you taste. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Right? But if you drink a real soda, your body's like, oh yeah, this tastes good. Some real cane sugar.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, this is good. This is a nice little treat.
Yeah, cane sugar all the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's important to me. So I prioritize it. Just what I've prioritized for a long time. Going on like 13 years. Because I got a bad stomach disorder. So I became very important to me when I got to college. Because I realized that what I was eating at home was fucking my life up every single day. And I would have terrible stomach pains, more often than not. We just didn't know any better. No? And now we do. So, and I have the choice. So yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, tie. We just did 3 hours.
Sweet.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Instagram, Leighton Ty Mcleod, LeightonTymcleod, or TyMcleod.com. It's probably easiest. TYMCLEOD.com, just like how they spell it in Highlander, because I am Scottish.
There you go. Anything, I guess you're in that waiting, so nothing to promote, nothing coming up?
Man, just keep on keeping on.
Hell yeah. Well, Ty, I appreciate you doing this, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, dude. I had a good time. Well, I didn't. Yeah. We shaking. Right. We shaking or dapping?
No, that's all right.
I always dap. I'm just a dap.
I code switch with my handshake.
Damn it, dude. Here we are again. All right, y'all. That's it. Hope you enjoy it. See you next week.